Good morning, everyone.
Good
Welcome
morning. Good
back to
morning.
to another show, another commentary for grade level championships that are taking place in National Harbor, Maryland. I'm Women's Grandmaster Sabina Foisor. Very excited to be joined by National Master Robert Ramirez. Robert, how are you
Yeah,
doing this morning?
doing great. Once more, excited to be here for the last two rounds with you. We had a lot of fun. Well, I had a lot of fun yesterday. I don't know the audience, but we had great games and really bad jokes as well. So I hope we get more and more of that today.
No, the jokes were good. I think it was great to see that some parents stopped by, let us know about, their kids taking part in the tournament. And for those of you who will be joining us late, you're always welcome to let us know whom you're rooting for, where are you watching from, if you have a kid, a student, a friend who's competing in any of these different sections and let us know which game to go to. Robert and I are trying our best to cover as many of the games as possible. We have 28 games that are broadcasted live. In each section is going to be a different number, but we have a comment for that, so you'll be able to figure out which one hopefully your son or daughter is playing in. But usually, if in the pairings you have a number between 1 and 28, then definitely that particular game is live. If the number starts with 100 something, then it's not. So that is a way that you can know whether the game will be live. But we'll also mention it. So far, I haven't been told if there are gonna be any issues with it, with the broadcast. We know the round has started at 9 a.m. And without further ado, Robert, I suggest to catch everyone up with the standings at the
Absolutely,
moment.
absolutely. So we're looking at K-12 standings, and yeah, so we see Abby Kaplan in the first place. Very, very exciting game yesterday, by the way.
That's true.
Um,
He took down Underwood Toshinori, who was the only player leading the event with 4 out of 4. And now
Absolutely.
we actually have four players with 4 points and a half, and those are playing each other. We'll definitely catch up with those games, Robert.
Absolutely.
Uh, Avi is paired against Arnav Gupta, and Arush Vinod is paired against Ming Lu.
There we
So
go. Yeah, very
those will
exciting.
be
Very
exciting
exciting games.
fights.
And yeah, and then after this one, they have the final round. It's a lot of stress on those rounds. For me, I'm always tired by that time, so I really hope they can stay fresh during those rounds. And then 11th grade, we have. Oh, we said it. One of the Evans was gonna win yesterday.
That's right. And and one of them did, and it was Evan Park.
There we
And he
go.
was the player that I told you that I lost against not
Yeah,
long
no,
ago.
don't even mention that.
You don't
He
know.
doesn't remember. He's excited about this. Stay away from that. Don't worry about it.
But what do you think we are to expect in this round? Because Kent Slate is the one who is playing with the white pieces, and Evan Park with the black pieces. Evan is the much higher rated, is 2484, while Kent is only 2210. But do you think the rating will matter in this game,
I don't. I
Robert?
don't think so. If I have to guess, I think it's gonna be a draw. Like they're both in the lead with 5 points, so they might be thinking, maybe I just take a draw here, go rest, come back strong in the on the last round. Or if they're really competitive, they might be like, "Nah, I need that sixth point, and then I can go easy on the last round without any stress." But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a draw because they're clearly very strong players, and I don't think they're going to be risking that much. We'll see.
I guess we'll have to wait. Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then
Let
very, very exciting position for the third place so far. Lirand, 4.5, right after Evan and Kent.
Mhm.
So that's a nice position to be in. Very close to getting in the first place. Anything could happen, honestly.
That's right. And if board one draws, then you have the chance to become a co-champion
Absolutely.
in a way. So, yeah. So, Jules Liran is playing with the black pieces against Marvin Gao, one of the highest highest rated players with 4 points.
Yeah.
That's going to be a game to be on the look for as well in this section.
Last tournament I played was in January, and I got to play Marvin Gao, a very strong player. So that's gonna be an exciting game. Absolutely.
So let's see. Let's pay attention to the numbers in each section, and I think we can get into the games very soon, Robert, because the moves started showing. So
All right.
in grade 9, what do we have in grade 9? We have three players with 5 points. So that's going to be exciting. In case, yeah,
Absolutely,
grade 9.
absolutely. So Isaac Wang, with five, yeah, absolutely 5 points. We have Will and Nikash with 5 points each.
And Nikash is playing down today against a player with 4.5, but he's from Florida, and I feel like I've heard you mention this name, so who knows?
Yeah. I was telling you yesterday, he's from Miami as well, and we've played so many times in tournaments. Yeah, this is a very interesting player because his whole family, they play chess. It's like four brothers, and they all play chess as well as their dad, and they really come prepared. So we'll see what happens.
That's going to be an interesting game to look for. Let's go in 8th grade.
8th grade, we have
two players with
we,
oh no, just one.
One in the lead, and then 4 players with 4.5, and like 25 players with 4 points. Not 25, but a lot of players with 4 points. But yeah, I see Lou with 5 points. Very exciting. But again, it's stressing because 5 points, but you have like 4 people right behind you, so you have to be careful. Now, who is Lou playing?
Lou is playing against Nitesh Cherukuri. So Nitesh is probably second. The highest rated, the second player right now with 4.5, but he seems to be the highest rated player in this section. Absolutely. In the 8th grade. Well, going on to 7th grade, we have 3 players with 5 points. One of them is Arabella Feng, and I feel like I've seen her before. I might have worked with her in the past in some camp. I might have seen her in some camp, maybe not. But I definitely want to look. Whenever there's a girl on top boards, I want to make sure we talk about her, and we see we talk about her potential future in in the chess world. In 6th grade, we have no player that has perfect score. That's right. Yeah. So those players, Don Kyle is playing against Jandiala Yegna, Sairam, and Tariq Yu is playing against Elliot Goodrich.
Very exciting games too.
Yeah. There's another player of 4.5, which is Leo.
Playing down, right?
He's playing down. He's playing against Megan Paragua, who, like yesterday, we had another Paragua playing on top boards. She's the niece of Grandmaster Mark Paragua.
There you go. Perfect. And then K5.
K5, Lucas Young is the sole leader at the moment with 5 points. K4, we have 3 players with 5 points. And actually, I definitely want to pay attention to this group. This is where we found our favorite game yesterday, Robert.
That's true. We reviewed it at the end of the stream yesterday.
We did, and I'll be talking to our social media manager. I forgot his title.
Coordinator.
Full title: communications and
marketing coordinator, maybe.
Marketing coordinator. Yeah, you wrote it down. Okay, good. Not like me.
No, I'm just guessing.
National Master Brian Tillis will talk to him to edit that later, and or in the next few days. I know he's working a lot for the tournament to try to make sure these tournaments are going to be improved and be better and better every time. So Srihash is playing with the black pieces against Yang Yu, and I think I know Yang Yu. Another player that I worked with at the Pan Americans last year, very talented kid. He was this so small, I was playing under 8. I think that's him.
There you go.
And he's playing in 4th grade. That's okay. And then we have Jaden Lee, who plays against Akash Jani. Third grade, uh, 2 players with 5 points.
Yeah, exciting. We have Lucas and Avery with 5 points, and well, then we have a few players with 4.5. Yeah, very close,
Yes.
very close. It's not like you have one player in these sections that is really ahead of everyone else. Like no one can be relaxed until the end of the
Nobody
tournament.
can be relaxed. No, definitely not. So
Absolutely.
for
So
those of you who are on location, by the way, there's quite a few events that US Chess is organizing. So be sure to walk around the different areas, go to the Skittles room and check out Chess Kids booth, the Skittles room, Girls Club room, and World Chess Hall of Fame has an exhibit and also a store, Q Boutique, where you can probably learn more about the fun stuff you can purchase for your family and friends. And also, of course, there's usually the US Chess bookstore where you can buy great great chess books.
mhm.
Possibly there'll be discounts. I do not know much about that, but you should definitely check it out and try to take back some memory. The only reason it makes me sad, Robert, that we're not there. That's the only reason. The rest doesn't. I'm just kidding. But there's always this T-shirt that's being made for each one of this nationals.
Events.
So it's always really nice for me. I've always taken one home, and I like to wear them. And sometimes people see me and they're like, "Oh wow, you competed in this." I'm like, "Oh, thanks. You think I'm that young?" So
Well, they probably have free shipping, Sabina. So
I know, but like, well,
no,
another
I get
time.
it, I get it, I get it. Don't cry on me now. Let's go to
Yeah,
second
one
grade.
tear came here, unfortunately, but it's gone. It's gone. I will have to live without it. But Robert, let's get into the games and catch everyone up
You
with
got it, you got it.
what is going on.
Perfect. All right, before we go to the games, I see second grade, just in case we have many parents. We have 3 players with 5 points. We have Renee, and I see also Winston Chen and Charles. They all have 5 points. And what else do we have here? First grade, also 4 players with 5 points. Yeah, they're very close in every section, so we'll see. All right, ready for the games?
Yes.
Let's do it. And here we go. So first game we have Avi Kaplan playing against Arnav, and this looks like a very interesting position already. And yeah, definitely we're not seeing any sharp openings. This is more like strategic, slow, see what happens. Also important to mention that the time control is delayed. There's no increment. So every time you play, the timer is going to wait 10 seconds before they start, but you're not adding time to your timer. So, and that's crucial in these last rounds. So we can see the first moves. Yeah, b3. Black is looking for this King's Indian approach. And then, yeah, d6, d4, and then b5, which to me, b5 is something I've never seen before. I played the King's Indian, and here as black, I'll be playing knight b2, d7, trying to get e5 in. But b5 is something for me to explore, definitely. It's so counterintuitive for me, but I can see how it makes sense, preventing c4. So castle, bishop b7, knight a3, developing by hitting the pawn, a6, and then pawn to c4. All right, so very good. It looks like Avi is playing this very quickly. I see his timer still intact. And then now Arnav is trying to decide what he's going to play next. So very interesting game. Let me go to the second board. And don't tell me this is another French. Yesterday we had a lot of French games. So we have, yeah, definitely French defense, d5, knight to c3, e5.
But we haven't seen this yesterday, I think,
That's
Robert.
true.
This is,
This line with knight c3.
yeah, I think, I don't believe we've seen this. I mean, but this was a line that was played in the US Championship. Believe it was the first round. When I was playing with the black pieces, the French, this was something that I had to choose between either play knight f6 third move or go for bishop b4. Personally, I enjoy bishop b4 just a little bit more but but
But
but
it's
knight
tricky.
f6,
It's
etc.
tricky. Exactly.
Yeah,
Either way, it's
it is
very
for sure.
tricky. E5, knight f to d7, f4, gaining space on the king side, and then this is just thematic. We were talking about this yesterday. I always like to highlight the pawn structure when the center is locked like this. You look at
Hmm.
the, at least I like to approach it like that. If it's aiming at the queen side, that means I have more space, so I need to target the pawn in front. We were talking about this. There are other factors that play into that, but it's a good
Yeah,
starter.
but here, okay, here's the example that I wanted to tell you about because you're talking about the pawns pointing into Robert, and I feel
Absolutely.
like this is the moment, right? So, I had a student once point out to me that I cannot really say it like that, and he was totally right because look at White's pawns. What about F and E? Aren't those pointing to technically towards the king side? The
Yeah.
F and E pawns?
Well, I'm looking at them like this. Like,
Wait. Yeah, yeah, I know, but like, I was explaining. So you are saying basically that you look only at the central pawns, the one that's more
I
advanced.
look at the pawn chain in the center. Exactly.
Ah, okay, okay. But you sometimes you don't have D4, you have E5 and F4, and then black has that same pawn structure.
Okay, but then it's not like the way I see it is when the center is locked. So I'm thinking if
Mm-hmm.
you don't have the pawn on d4, you have the pawn on f4, then we cannot really say the center is locked, right? At least
Okay.
I look at it that way, but again, I will trust you more because that's my basic approach.
No, my students have tried to catch me with some mistakes occasionally.
Refuting your experience.
In my teaching, yeah, they want to make sure that I always improve, and they're always trying to suggest specific things that I should be more mindful on how I explain them.
Exactly.
So these days, I do say similar to how you explained it now. Just look at the central pawns and see from the ones that you have, not necessarily where they're pointing into, but rather towards, better said, where they're pointing towards, but rather look at the pawn that's more advanced on, on the central files, because that's the one that's going to guide you to the side of the board where you need to play.
Okay.
And because technically, if you have instead of d4 a pawn in f4, white's plans are on the king side and black's on the queen side. That's not going to change because the center is not closed. There's
Of
still
course.
happen that way,
Of course.
but it will be it's not technically a closed center.
Exactly.
Anyways.
But for the viewers, basically, what we're trying to say here is you gotta play on the side where you have more space. Everything is gonna run smoothly. Try to bring your pieces there, and again, I only use that as some guidance, but you cannot blindly follow that. You have to look at every other factor like piece
Of course.
concentration and so on. But yeah, this is very classical in the French. We see the black pieces striking on c5, and like I said, I'm not an expert in the French. I've never played it myself, but what I typically see is like queen b6, knight c6, just putting a lot of pressure on d4 and the queen side in general. So yeah, knight f3, knight to c6. That's exactly what we're seeing here. And then after bishop e3, everything revolves around pawn to d4. We got a6, more indication that they want to expand on the queen side. Queen to d2, pawn to b5, that's coming, bishop e2, and now the white pieces are basically fully developed, ready to castle to, I'm guessing, the king side, but you never know. Now, up to this point, Sabina, anything special that we need to mention for those who are French defense players?
Uh, Not necessarily. I mean, I think this at some point there's going to be a trade in d4. Either white will capture in c5 or black will capture in d4. And typically, black attempts some more pawn pushes and play on the queen side, as you mentioned. We got to be on the look for f5. Usually, f5 doesn't scare black away too much. You can let them capture in e6. The king oftentimes, I think, stays in the center. And yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see
Exactly.
how how things will continue. But there's usually gonna be a trade eventually in the center, and we'll see
It
if
has to happen.
yeah, and we'll see if the game will um, become tactical or not.
Absolutely. So I see queen b6 here. Everything is going, it's very thematic. Then knight to d1. I'm guessing knight to d1 is an attempt to play c3 and really have a healthy chain here.
That's right. And the knight sometimes goes to f2 and see there, it happened. Oh no,
Exactly.
it didn't happen? Did capture happen?
Yeah. It did happen. I just
Yeah.
wanted to show. So you're saying the knight could go to f2 and maybe to d3, or even help on the king side, right?
Yes.
Knight to d4, bishop c5. Yeah, a lot of pressure down this diagonal. Then pawn to c3. That's what they wanted. And after pawn to a5, then this is what the last position that we have on the board. Yeah, definitely a little bit sharper than the first board. And I like it. We're gonna have very interesting games here, definitely.
And before you go on to the next one, Robert, sorry to cut you off there. I want to know your thoughts about the London.
Well, I do think that it's so popular for a reason. I've never played it myself. I do have students who play it. And as much as there's this hate-love relationship and some people love it, some people hate it, I don't play it myself, but I do think that if it's so popular, there has to be a reason for it. And we all know it's very easy to implement. It offers a nice position. The only thing I don't like about it, honestly, is how popular it is. I always like to play. I always like to play openings where my opponents are not so well prepared. And as we know, everyone knows how to play against. At least they have seen the London many times, so they know how to play against it. But I honestly, it's not like I hate it. Like any students that I have who tell me I want to play the London, I don't have a problem with that. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that one.
Okay. Well, let's go to the next game, which is actually
I hope I didn't get in trouble. I think I didn't get in trouble there.
No, it is a London. It is a London. That's why I asked you first to see your opinion. Otherwise, I would skip this game. You told me you're not a huge fan of the Sicilian. Let's try to avoid it, for temporarily.
No,
we have to look at Sicilians, but
I didn't say I'm not a fan. I'm just saying that for me, since I started chess late, I didn't have time to dedicate to memorizing and learning the Sicilian. So I stayed away from the main lines. But I did review a lot of games with the Sicilian because you have to, if you want to learn chess in general, you have to get exposure to it. So yeah, London.
That's true. Yeah.
Very straightforward. C5, C3, knight b to d2, knight h5. Yeah, we often see some h3 if we have the time.
That's right. Yeah.
That way we can hide the bishop on h2.
Yeah, so usually it depends on the move order that you're playing this. You see, a lot of people, I think a lot of people are learning this, especially at lower levels. These guys are not lower levels; they're quite high rated. But a lot of people at lower levels that I had to teach in the past were taught by their previous coaches to play the London. London is almost never something that I would teach someone who gets started into chess, although it is the kind of opening that is like a setup, so it's maybe easier to understand. The problem is it's not a tactical opening. A lot of people misunderstand that. They think it's tactical. It's more of a positional opening, and you need to actually know some nuances. You need to know how, based on how black is placing their pieces, how you should place yours. And in this situation, basically, yeah, there's different move orders. A white sometimes doesn't develop the knight in f3. They actually keep it in g1.
Good point.
For the queen to be open, that's why they do it. They play knight d2 first, maybe bishop d3 also. And they're waiting to have that h5 square control because I don't think white should want to lose that bishop.
Of course.
So yeah, to play an h3 or something. So the move order matters. It matters how black sets up their pieces. And you should be ready with white, in my opinion. If you're going to play the London, this regular, not the Jobava, the regular one, you might play c4 too. So you might just totally switch to a queen's gambit pawn structure. And you actually could get even better positions than what you would get with the London. But sometimes coaches don't explain that. And it's, of course, hard when you're dealing, like if you're working with someone who's not totally, understanding the patterns. I think, could. But I've played it a few times and I enjoyed it personally.
Yeah, in my experience, most people who play the London, they just want the simplicity out of it. And even when you try to show these ideas with c4, they're like, I chose the London because I wanted to stay in the London. Don't make me play c4 and g4. So I get exactly what you're saying. But, I hope that everyone is open to adding new ideas. And also it becomes more exciting if you add those kind of positions, right? Right, with c4 and changing the move order. You playing the same opening, but it's like you're trying different fields. So
That's
that's
right. You
that's a good
saved it
point.
there, Robert, for a second, because I was gonna take it personally and say, well,
No,
do you say I'm just
no, no, no,
choosing
no.
sim? No, no, no. I know you weren't
No,
gonna
no,
say
no.
that. I was
I'm
just gonna make a joke.
no, 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 no. I get your point, but yeah, 92. I mean, knight f3, then 92, bishop g3. I guess white is happy to or okay with just opening up the h file.
Hmm.
Then,
Yeah, I've played this myself, but I think this idea, like when black plays h6,
mhm,
you want very, I mean, the attack to g4, g5 would be your follow-up because you want to open the h file. But usually with the bishop in e7 controlling g5, not much is going to happen. And sometimes black can even castle. So that's why usually I see people maybe playing bishop d3 first to attract h6, and then they actually go bishop b5 in these types of positions to try to get rid of the other bishop too, put the knight in e5 and try to have kind of a blocked pawn structure in a way. But you
exactly.
have to be careful because, after all, it's the bishop pair, so.
Exactly, exactly. But well, here we got h6 anyway, so there we have it. Then knight to e5, that happened in the game. Knight takes, pawn takes, and then after bishop d7, very exciting now with queen g4. And this sort of reminds me of some positions you get in the French, like we were mentioning before, where you see this queen
Mhm.
g4, and there's some king f8 and so on. But yeah, I don't think it's a big deal. Nothing special in this position, but at least white is already putting some pressure on the king side, and we'll see how Toshinori responds in this position. So this
Mhm.
this is coming out of the London. We've seen already the French, the London. Let's see board number 4,
Okay.
and
That is a Sicilian, and it's a Khan, I think it was a Khan Sicilian, or what was it?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Looks like a Khan. Okay.
94, 96, bishop e2. Interesting line. It seems passive, but it's very interesting. Queen c7. There's still some room for playing c4, like a Maroczy bind here. Nope, c3 was played. Knight f6, hitting the pawn on e4. Knight
Actually,
d2.
C3 is quite interesting because I don't know about this move. Yeah, just please take my knight so that I can have, two pawns in
My
the
2 pawns in
center,
the
but
center.
we're not playing hope chess here. We should not be playing hope chess, but that move has its benefits. It also restricts the knight in c6
Correct.
for knight b4 ideas because oftentimes in the Sicilian, the pawn in c2 tends to be a long-term target for black, as they usually play on the queen side. And so when you play c3, you're trying to say stop. That's
Exactly.
not going to happen.
And even with the queen on c7, it's nice to know you don't have to worry about the c2 pawn. So
Right,
yeah,
right.
simple. I think white is just playing quiet chess, see what happens next, no stress.
Exactly.
A6, we all know b5 is in the air, so castle. Yep. So far, this is what we have, and it doesn't look like the white is trying to fight for that edge. They just want a simple opening, get to the middle game, and play chess. So very nice. We got I think we got a
Uh,
Caro can here.
this is an interesting. Ooh, Evan Park.
Yeah, and Kent
Evan,
Slades.
that's the game that we said we're gonna be on the look for. So this
Absolutely
is board one in K11.
correct.
And the two players are on 100%. So they won all of their games. So this is a big matchup here that we need to definitely come back to. Well, we're looking at it now, but definitely just I'm making a mental note to be back to
Absolutely,
to this game
absolutely,
later because it's gonna be one of those that we definitely want to keep
absolutely.
an eye on.
And Sabina was saying yesterday she really enjoys this Caro can, and I'm glad that we see another game here. Bishop e3, c3, knight b to d2. Yeah, developing quickly. And
Yeah,
this, I'm sorry, go ahead.
is black gonna be able to take their pawn back in this line? I don't know if it was supposed to be played like that.
Um,
Because this is a bit different than what we were looking at yesterday, I think, right?
well, can they just take on e5 now or no? What am I missing here? Oh no, queen a. Well, right.
Yeah, queen a4.
I,
You
I
play.
I just go back,
You
right?
cannot go knight 7 to c6 because I take your knight.
No, but I could the same knight could go back, right?
No, but the bishop in g4.
Oh, you're hitting my bishop. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
right.
yeah. But you could go queen d7 though. You could go queen d7.
Queen
But
d7
then
and,
I
and the
would,
queen is
but then I
hanging.
would, yeah. But then I have bishop b5, I think. No, I don't think you can take the pawn in e5, Robert.
Let me
I know
see.
you want to, but it's not
Yeah,
happening.
I would have missed it.
Bishop b5.
And
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, I would love to get the pawn back too, but it's a bit different than what I'm
yeah,
familiar with.
definitely.
The c5 line. I'm not. I thought people usually play c5 move 3. I thought that's how the line was going, but
Mm-mm.
um, well, there is that move on move 3,
Yeah,
c6, right? When e5 is played, c5.
exactly.
It's a line.
Just do it right away.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm sure this is a thing too. But
Well, engine doesn't like it that much. On move number 4, it's like if you didn't do it on 3, just don't do it. Don't do it on 4.
it's interesting. No, I mean, but maybe white shouldn't have played knight f3 in that position. Like maybe just go, I don't know, bishop b5 first. Would that be
And then queen a5. I guess you go knight c3
knight c3? Yeah,
and pawn to d4.
I think I can take it
Yeah,
because
because
you're pinned.
the knight is
Yeah,
pinned. Yeah,
you can take c2 also, but I mean, I'm just trying to find a way to maintain my extra pawn. And with the pawn in c5, you can play a6. Sure, maybe I go bishop a4. I won't take your knight. Although maybe I could take it, but I could just go back because now you don't have b5, which normally is a move that you have with
that's
black. And
correct. That's correct. I wonder if this is preparation for black. But you're right. You're right.
I mean, it could be preparation, but
It's not. It's not
I
so
don't know.
clear, right?
It's not so clear to me, but okay, it's not that bad. Something white seem.
Well,
Wait, did that actually happen?
no. This is
No, that's our analysis. I was like,
no.
wait, Evan Park. I played Evan.
Evan,
He did
I'm
not
rooting for
blunder with
you.
me like that. Why didn't he blunder when he played against me?
No. But
You-
this is interesting here to mention how, assuming the clocks are accurate, they have. This is move number 9, and they have spent almost like 20 minutes. I mean, at least Kent with the white pieces. So this is something definitely that took him by surprise, I want to say. And well, we'll see. We'll see how this ends up.
Shall we go to the next part?
Absolutely.
Or
Yeah.
do you want to catch up with
Let's take a quick look
another grade?
at board 6, and then we just move along, right?
Yeah, so board 6 is board 2 in K11.
There we go. And this is another Sicilian, open Sicilian. Knight f6, knight c3. This is Najdorf. And yeah, e5, knight f3, knight d2, a4. We've seen this idea yesterday where we're trying to disrupt that pawn structure on the queen side before gaining more space. Knight to the center. Castle, knight to c4. Interesting how that knight has been all over in only 12 moves.
But it reached the right destination.
Absolutely.
The knight has reached the right destination because it's an outpost, it attacks d6, you can play b3 to support it. The only thing I'm kind of worried about is the pawn in d5. If black somehow manages to put additional pressure on it, you don't have the pawn in c4 to really connect your one island pawns technically on the queen side. So that pawn is kind of lonely. But other than that, I do like its position in c4.
Absolutely,
I think.
and you're right. b6 also is very attractive for that knight along with the bishop.
b6, or if the queen moves from there, knight a5, knight c6 is going to be even more unpleasant.
That's true.
If white can do something like that, or you can play, of course, a5 and maybe place your knight to b6 even further, more active, or a5, rook a4.
Correct.
Many
ideas now
improve.
with knight c4. We'll see what he picks, but it's definitely very interesting, that knight maneuver. So there you have it. a5 was played, f5, bishop d2, and yeah, here we see the same thing. Black is trying to expand on the queen side. Rook A4. Hey, I think the same moves that you said, Sabina. This is happening.
I
This is
didn't look at the games. I just,
B.
recently I've seen this game played by, I think Sam Shanklin in this tournament that just happened. He actually did an idea like that with black, with Rook C8, Rook C5. And I told him I was super impressed, and he said, "Yeah, well, that's what's going on. Like,
That's
what do
just
you
just
mean?
one
Why,
just 101.
yeah, like what else do you want me to do?" It reminded me of that very famous video with Magnus and
Oh yeah,
Maurice
yeah.
Ashley, and I was like, okay, sorry, I didn't mean that. I really love it. Love the idea. I always love when there's a weak pawn and you find creative ways to put more
To put
pressure
pressure
in.
on it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah,
Give
so
me the position and I'll do it.
absolutely, absolutely. No, but this is a very interesting game. This is what we're expecting to see on round 6 of this strong tournament. We'll see how the game continues. Now, do we go to the next board, or we want to go to a specific board?
Yeah, there was a board I wanted to go to actually in board 9, I think.
Okay,
Eric Zhao against Eric Fang. So we're
absolutely.
gonna have another Eric. This time Eric, who's gonna score 1 point. Okay. The only thing is depends if it's spelled with CK or just with C. They have
Exactly.
different spellings, so it's not, what this is very similar to another game we saw earlier, isn't it?
Absolutely. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see if the extra K in the name matters. But this is definitely a Sicilian, and this time we see the king f8 after the queen comes over to hit g7. Now, going to the beginning here, we have another Caro-Kann advanced variation, c5 right away. So this is the line that you were
Ah, it was
mentioning.
Kara. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
This is the line I was talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
Second move.
There we go. The bishop left. So we're going to ask how you're going to defend this pawn. They say king f8, knight f3, developing quickly. And we got the typical pressure down the diagonal, hitting f2, queen g3, a5. Yeah, knight c3, and then knight a4 is in the air. Yeah, bishop d7 taking care of that square. Bishop d3, h6, and finally the white piece is castled. So again, this is a position that I feel very comfortable with white. I don't know if this is, Sabina, something that black typically goes for. It's looking to me more like a French, and of course, if you choose that c5 on the second move, it makes sense that you sort of transpose into it.
Yes, it does. I'm not a huge fan of what black has done necessarily here because usually there's a pawn in h5, or I feel that black seems to be a bit behind with the development. I think that, knight, because you have the pawn in h6, you cannot play knight e7, knight g6. You cannot use the g6 square. G6 now with the queen in g3 and the bishop in d3 is gonna be an issue because white has potential sacrificing ideas.
Correct.
You do not have the idea to close the position with c4 and kind of play on that side. And you don't have a way to win the e5 pawn. So I'm not quite fond of what black has gotten in this position.
Yeah, I guess
And
97, 95 is something to look for, but it's not that clear because the bishop is protecting f5. But definitely, it comes down to trying to develop as quickly as possible and hope for the best. Actually,
yeah, it's a bit of a difficult position for black here, in my opinion.
yeah,
But I wanted to go to the next board because we have Chloe
absolutely.
Gao with 4.5. So she's the only player with 4.5 who's trying to catch with the leaders in case that board one finishes a draw, though white did seem, a slightly better position. And so Chloe plays against Pranav Swaminathan. Chloe drew yesterday. It was one of those games, the game with the queen bishops opposite color bishops,
True.
and that ended in a draw. So now she's trying to catch back up with the leaders. Her opponent is 2200 from Virginia, and she's from New York, by the way. And what kind of opening was this?
This looks to me like
Some
a
Queen's
Nimso,
Gambit?
right?
Nimzo?
Well, let's see. Let's go from the beginning. I see 3. Yeah, this is a Nimso Indian defense. And after bishop b4, we have e3, which is one of the main lines here, or one of the most popular lines. Basically, we're blocking the bishop, but we don't mind. And I think we saw later in the game how she actually went with f4, which is very ambitious approach. So d5 sooner or later, a3, asking, okay, are you going to give me the bishop pair, or are you going to go back? But I don't like the bishop on b4. So yeah, they took. And now, very interesting. Black gives up the bishop pair. White gets the doubled pawns, isolated pawn on a3. So let's see which one is more important. So
yeah, I mean, that pawn in a3 is very difficult to really target with black for the moment. And, the double pawns on the c file, I know sometimes people are worried about it. Those get traded immediately, like it just happened here. So
correct.
Those are not to be worried about. Now, with that happening, white has the bishop pair and will have the opportunity to gain more space advantage and center. So we'll have to see how Chloe does it.
Absolutely. And also, we cannot forget that every time we get isolated pawns or doubled pawns, we also get the benefit of the open or semi-open file. So that's another benefit for the white pieces here. So pawn to c5. Now it's all about targeting that center with a flank pawn on c5. 92, developing quickly. Bishop d3. And very important, we don't want to leave the bishop hanging on c4. So bishop d3. f4, securing that e5 square as well. Black is not going to play e5. And after castling, you're right, it looks very nice for white. Bishop b7, knight to g3, bishop b2. Very important. Sooner or later, we want to move away from this file. It's not nice. a5, and then there you go, queen to e2. So yeah, I really like the way white is playing here. Very quiet position. She got some small advantage, and now the goal is to convert that small advantage into something a little bit bigger and hopefully convert the game at the end. Queen c8, rook to d1. I wonder if e4 is going to happen here at the right time.
Yes, I was looking at that. I was trying to think about when you definitely want to get that pawn going to e5.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, if you do it, did you know that if you play e3, e5, e3, e5 in one move, and let's say your opponent doesn't get it, okay, they're not realizing that you played it.
Like something like this, for example. And then you go e5.
Yeah, and just suddenly you go e5, and then the game continues on. Let's say 10 moves later, the arbiter realizes that you've made an illegal move. You know what happens? They come back to the game, and they tell you an illegal move was made. Now with all these DGTs, it's easy. They go back, and you restart the position from this moment with the pawn in e3, and you have to replay it. It doesn't matter where the game is. You could have, I'm not sure if you even if you signed the papers and you lost or you won, whatever. But if the game has not ended, it could be checkmate the next move. But if the game has not ended, the arbiter realized that there was an illegal move made. They can take you back to this particular moment.
Interesting.
And you are the reason I know this is I was a captain for this team at the Olympiad, and a lot of my players were quite early at the game, so they were still making illegal moves. And there was one of the girls in my team that didn't realize she was really at the beginning, and I wasn't there to see when that move was made. And then the arbiter came and was like, yeah, there was an illegal move. We got to go back to that moment. And the only thing that I was very upset about was that when the game was replayed, that particular move actually made my the girl I was my team girl to lose some material. And the second time around, that opponent ended up playing, instead of d3 to d5, because that's what happened, only playing d3 to d4. And was threatening d5, and my girl forgot about what happened to her,
and it came to her anyways.
And ended up losing the same way. And I was like, no.
No, it happens. But I wonder what happens with the clock. Do they put the clock back, or?
Yeah, they put the clock back where it was, and I think
Huh.
they take some time from you, or they give the other person
To
like 2 minutes.
as a penalty, right, for the legal
Yeah,
move.
yeah, penalty for an illegal move.
Makes
But
sense.
if you make a second illegal move, you actually lose the game.
Of course, of course, of
Yeah.
course.
And yeah, of course, there's these new rules that you have to be mindful
You
about when
have
you
to be,
play.
you have to keep up, absolutely. So yeah, this game I see. I mean, it looks like we're just rooting for the white pieces, but I think it's easier to play as white, especially after c4. Now I want to point out this maneuver that black played, queen to c8, and it's like, oh, that's so weird. Why did you move the queen back? But they're trying to really target the d3 bishop, just get rid of that really good bishop that they have. And it's the bishop pair at the end of the day. So bishop a6, white is saying, nope, I'm gonna play c4 to keep my bishop, and that's what the game is. I like to pay attention to the clock, not because we're obsessed with it, but it tells us who's more comfortable in this position generally. Like I see black is down by almost 15 minutes. That means they have to spend more time. They're definitely not in their element here. At least that's my impression. Now,
No, you're totally right.
let me see. This is board number
Robert,
two.
there's another board that I wanted to go to. I was just trying to figure out which one it was, but it was board 16. So board 16 is second board in grade 8.
Okay.
I don't know what happened here.
Well, this looks like it began very cautiously, just you know, a Nimso Larsen. They tend to be very quiet until they're not. So bishop g2, e5, d takes e5. I'm guessing we're gonna move this knight now to put pressure down the diagonal. There we go. h3, they take back. Yeah, d takes e5, offering the trade of queens. Ooh, what?
Oh, there was just a mistake with the transmission. I think this one has a mistake in the transmission. Okay, it's gonna be fixed.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
this is the kind of move that I would play, so I wouldn't be surprised. No.
No.
So
It's a
we
mistake
wait.
with the transmission. I was just trying to figure out.
No worries.
I'll wait to see if it gets fixed, and if it doesn't, I will send a message to find out, because I just want to see what happened there.
You got it.
Um,
Let me then do a quick rundown of the first boards again, and then I want to go to that K12, I mean K2 board like we did yesterday, just to see what's going on there.
yeah. No, I was trying to look at those that seem the bar was acting out.
Exciting.
There's a mate. Do you mind just going for that really fast though?
What board is it?
Uh, 26.
26. Oh,
So
almost.
that's
It's
board one
almost
in
the K2.
is K4. It's K4 like we looked last time. So we have Lucas against Jan Singh, and I think those are the two players in K4 that are let me double check.
Okay, but this one is not the mate, right?
Wait, did I not go? No. That's not the one. That's not the one I wanted.
Yeah, this is K3. 26 is K3.
Ariv against Lucas. Sorry, it's 22. I apologize. Board 22. It's first is grade 5th grade first board.
There you go. Okay, bishop a3. Okay, so where is the checkmate?
Yeah, it seemed like something is happening very soon here. The French pawn structure, as we've seen previously, but
I think
we get rid of the knight.
they just up a piece, right? I think that's what it is.
Yeah, but how did they win it?
Okay, yeah. Let's see. So let me just go quickly through the game. It hasn't been many moves. So we got an Alapin. We talked about the Alapin yesterday. One of those anti-Sicilians. Knight f3, d4 has to be played. Bishop d3. And then that gives us a very, very nice center. Still not defined. They could take. We'll see. Castle. They're targeting the bishop. White pieces say no. Knight to b6. Maybe it's time to kick this knight out. There we go. Oof. And then instead of going back, they're saying, okay, if you take me, I'm going to take you. Now, I wonder if we have any in-between moves here. Like, if I know I'm going to get this knight, I might be able to do something with my bishop. If my knight was developed, I could go bishop e1 to really keep the
Yes,
bishop.
sure.
But oh, there we go. So they went for the pawn. Let me get something for it, and then I collect on b4. There we go.
So that's how they got the position.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay, so
Now queen to d3, hitting the rook.
oh, that's how they lost the piece and queen b5.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's very nice. I cannot go queen a4 because of the knight on b6, but then I'm gonna get a tempo. Ooh, that was really nice.
yeah, that was a big blunder by Lucas, and Lucas was the only player with 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
So it seems that unfortunately for him, he is not doing very well right now. I don't
It's
know if
not
he,
easy. I gotta give it to him. It's not easy to see this coming, and I wonder if Arif calculated all this. I wonder if he was like
probably
bishop
he's
a7, rook takes, pawn takes, and if they take me, I'm gonna go queen d3 and queen b5. I mean, that's pretty nice. There we go. Queen d3, queen b5.
yeah.
There you go. Simple but very effective.
Maybe, maybe black shouldn't have captured in h7. Maybe black should have just moved the knight back and accept that they lost that pawn, I guess.
And
Maybe.
enjoy the open file, right?
Yeah, there's not so much to enjoy because the knight in f3 is doing a great job at keeping the position safe, but I just feel like
Yeah. But that would be the only way to pretend like you sacrificed the pawn. You know what? I didn't think I
right,
sacrificed
yeah.
it on purpose. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Okay.
And
So that's what happened. So now, did you want to go to K2?
yeah,
Because
let's
something's happening. Chess Fields. Hey, how are you doing? Do you know who Chess Fields is, Robert?
no.
No.
Chess feels I know. Oh,
I
chess. I don't know. It rings a bell from Twitter. Maybe I follow him on Twitter.
yeah, from Twitter, from US Chess. Someone from US Chess.
Yeah, I think it's his like his profile picture like it has a cat or something. I don't know. It's the only
His
thing.
profile picture has a cat.
I don't
That
know.
I do not. He has glasses. He has
Yeah,
glasses. That
yeah.
that that doesn't really that doesn't help.
I think we've. Well, are you talking about me? No, I think we've
No,
played
no, it's
him.
JJ. It's JJ
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
from Chess Life Online and Chess Life. Like he writes a lot of very cool articles. Be
Now
sure
it's coming to me
later.
now.
Yeah, later today, for those of you who are watching, be sure to check out, or maybe it's already there. I haven't had the chance to check yet, but be sure to check out US Chess Live Online posts. There are going to be posts about the K through 12 national championships with pictures and everything, and yeah, he's definitely doing a wonderful job with all the articles. He hasn't hired me for a while to write things, so I'm just gonna point it out here so that it
No
stays. He
pressure.
remembers.
No pressure.
No
But
pressure, but maybe he didn't like my writing like he really said. That's okay. We'll forgive him.
no. But yeah, thanks for being here. And yeah, if it's not coming to me, maybe I lost a game to him on chess.com, and I forget when I lose to people.
Oh,
I
it's
just
already up. It's already up, Robert. The link is already up. So, um, yeah, and he was happy that Arif, he mentioned to us, by the way, Arif is the one who actually won the K6 Blitz championship.
nice.
Yeah. The player we saw earlier with the white pieces. That was
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, h6.
okay. So I need to pin this. I need to pin this for those of you. Okay, I pinned it for like, I don't know. Sorry. No worries. You go ahead.
Yeah. Just trying to understand here what's going on. Definitely, I don't like this bishop on d6. It's blocking the other bishop from coming out. Typically, we want to play d6, get the bishop out, but that's not happening after bishop d6. a4, preventing b5. Very straightforward. D takes e5. Knight takes e5, knight takes e5, bishop e5. Finally, now black could play d6 and get the bishop out, even though it seems like b7 is also available. There we go. And now this is just a simple fork. Yep. Knight d5, we did not have to take as black, but when we do, it's just hanging pieces. Pretty simple theme. Again, easy to miss, but we have to be careful with that. Yeah, at least let me get something for the bishop. Queen h4.
That's okay. That's a tough loss. Let me check
Yeah.
their ratings just to see. By the way, Chess Fields mentioned that you are 1-on-1 on chess.com. 1-1-1.
Yeah, that's why I don't remember. I don't want to remember his
That's
face
why,
or anything like
because
that.
you lost. It's okay. It's
And
okay.
if I lost miserably, yeah, can he just leave
It's
the stream?
okay.
I don't want to. No, 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 no. Again, thanks for being
He's
here.
gonna tag you. He's gonna clip this, Robert. He's gonna clip this. I don't know. I know you gotta be
I,
mindful
I think
here what you're saying.
I just made it worse. I think I just made it worse. I should have just.
Yeah, yeah, it's okay. Robert, listen, we all lose. Remember, you lost many games in your life and you're gonna lose even more games, and that's okay because it's part of the process of improving.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. That's what we talk. We keep telling ourselves. But no, 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 no. I get
we keep telling
it.
everyone that, and we by telling it, we are hoping that we ourselves will understand that that's how it works and will
Exactly.
not
Yeah.
take it to heart as much.
Well, technology is doing its part. Now, when we are feeling bad, they're gonna replay this. What you're saying right now, they're gonna replay it for you when you lose your next game. All right, so yeah, this is a very exciting game. In the meantime, until you find another interesting game, we're gonna go back to board number one. After all,
Yeah. And by the way, for everyone, in that section there were three players with 5 points in the second grade, and those two were one, and so it was Winston against Renee.
there you
So,
go, perfect. Oh.
which board are you going back to? To the
This
top one.
this is board number one. Yeah, we have Avi Kaplan playing Arnav Gupta, and yeah, still it has the same character. It's a very strategic, very quiet. Anything could happen, and the clock is pretty even as well. So
Mhm.
we'll see what happens here. I'm pretty sure this game is gonna be decided by some strategic mistake, something like that. I don't see. I
I
don't.
thought you were gonna say time.
No, 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 no. I don't think anyone is gonna go crazy to attack the other player. Anything could happen, but it seems to me like it's gonna be a more of a strategic game throughout the middle game. So that's board number one. Board number two. Yeah, still the pressure on d4. Knight takes b5. Bishop a6. Yeah, and it looks like white is up a
If
pawn here.
Well, but how long is he gonna be able to hold on to it? Because B2 will be weak. In a way,
Well,
it's true black gave up a pawn, but it's reminiscent of the Benko, a bit? No, maybe not.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
No,
idea?
I get the idea. But now if I play four, like you really have to prove me, you have to prove to me that you have compensation. Like I think I'm gonna hold on to that pawn.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, A4, typical. See, Benko style.
There we go.
When you get that pawn, you put your knight in B5, you play 4 B3, or holding on to the knight. That's how it works, and that's
Absolutely.
why it's important that I always tell my students, and I'm curious what you do, Robert, is when I tell them that it's very important to study other kind of games with openings that maybe they don't play, because
Absolutely.
you never know the pattern. You never know the pattern that you're gonna see one time, and it's gonna be the best, the best thing for your position, in that specific moment. It's just out of nowhere, a pattern that you saw in some other game.
I agree with you. You can always transpose from one opening to another opening, and you have to be ready for it. At least know the main ideas. I wonder is 96 possible or no?
I think so, but maybe black doesn't care. King H7.
What do you mean? What do you mean you don't care? We talked about this
Oh,
yesterday.
sorry. I don't care about not castling because it's the French and it's close. So I go King
True,
H7.
true, true. But you have to care about this. You're right. And then the knight is gonna be in there. We gotta see for how long. But it looks pretty nice. It looks like a very nice opportunity to get the knight in there. Well, we'll see. Yeah, definitely. But Sabina, if you had to pick, would you pick the white pieces, or would you rather be black here?
Um, Probably white.
right? It seems like
I'll
it's
take the extra pawn.
I
I'll
th-
take the extra pawn.
yeah, I think it seems like it should be easier to play for white. But there's a lot of chess to be played. Yeah, bishop a6 is the last move they've played,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll see
Mm-hmm.
if they go with knight
Where,
d6
yeah.
or a4.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we have third board again. Yeah, this is the
So
London. You were saying how much you love the London, and
yeah, I've played it on a few occasions. I actually have some nice games in the London, just the regular one, not the Jababa one, like this one. This
exactly,
is the regular, I mean.
exactly.
But interesting, long castle both sides. I don't think I've seen this kind of
I don't think they want any trouble. They just tried.
no attack anymore. Now the queen in, I don't know, black has done a pretty good job.
Yeah, I think black is saying I'm gonna stay out of trouble, out of chart positions, and I'm gonna keep my bishop pair and hope that I can outplay you later with that. Yep, yep, yep. All right. Let me see board number 4. Yeah, pretty straightforward. And we have Evan Park again and Kent Slate. Knight to d2, then knight f5 was played, bishop d4, bishop e7. Then Marvin Gao, this game keeps getting complicated. Last time we saw up to knight on c4, very nice knight, then b3, and then f4.
I love that B3. Every month or every, so often I change my the themes that I teach my students. Not the same positions. I always try to adjust based on their needs, but sometimes there are themes that everyone needs to know. And lately I've been looking into pawn sacrifices for various reasons. Sometimes you sacrifice pawns in order to free up a square because you want to use it for another piece.
Correct.
Sometimes you sacrifice pawns because you want to block a particular square with one of your opponent's pieces so that they cannot do something. Sometimes you do it for counterplay. There's various reasons why you sacrifice pawns, and
Absolutely.
here it's definitely something that
Yeah, definitely trying to disrupt white's pawn structure.
a bit, yeah, and create a weakness and open up the rook. Right here, the black is trying to open up the rook because they won't be able to recapture the pawn right immediately on this instant, but they will with knight c5 ideas, and those are double pawns, backward double pawns, both of them, and there will be a way for black to put pressure, so he feels that, okay, I might lose that pawn anyways, but let me lose it in a way that's going to give me some follow up exactly later. And so I do like that idea. And
100%. And at the same time, I do like the follow up too, like this f4. They're saying, okay, I sort of slowed down your queen side, and now I'm gonna try to continue to gain space on the king side. And yeah, I mean, no, it's not a coincidence. This is a strong international master here playing as black. And like I said, Marvin Gao, very strong player as well. I'm curious to see how this ends. Bishop e2, e4, castle. Yeah, this is very brave. I wouldn't have castled here as white. Like, these pawns are so close to ruining my pawn structure and exposing the king. Definitely, I'm not a fan. Definitely not a fan. So, all right, I wouldn't be surprised if f3 is coming at some point. Yep.
Robert, do you want to catch up with the top boards on 10th grade as well? Or do you want to...
No, let's do it. So that'll be number 9, right?
Number 9, yes. Eric Zhao against Eric Feng. Let's see which Eric is...
It's going to be the winner.
That similar kind of pawn structure, king in f8, we've seen in another game. Two games today, I think, with the king kind of not castle there, but...
yeah, this
a4, interesting.
Exactly. I guess trying to fix the pawn structure on the queen side. They don't want any b4 or anything like that.
But I think I can still do. I was just thinking, like, oh, you don't want that. I will play it anyways. Let's go.
I'll do it anyways and open up the file. Yeah.
Yeah, but can I not?
Well,
let's see. Can I play it?
If you go b4,
you take en passant. I mean, what else? And that's how I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But maybe pawn takes is better and have b4 idea. Because I think if you take an a3, maybe I can go. I should have some tactics here. I feel it.
Well,
It's
maybe
there.
knight a4, maybe.
Knight a4, interesting. Maybe I would. Yeah. Knight a4, queen b4, or
What
you
if?
just take it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking if they take, do we have bishop a3,
Uh-huh.
right?
And then
Or
yeah, that bishop.
you were thinking taking with the pawn, that way we're defending with the.
True, but then the queen can move to yeah, and I
Well,
don't
then
know.
bishop takes, rook b7. No, but this is hanging at the end.
Yeah, but I like your move better, bishop takes a3, because you're pinning the knight in e7. You're also threatening the deflection. Bishop takes, exactly, and
Yeah,
so that would be kind of a nice idea for white.
absolutely. And opening up the position with that king not being so happy on f8, it makes a lot of sense. But yeah, we'll see. So far we have rook b1, a4, and we're gonna see if the white pieces decide to play b4 or not. But yeah, we've seen this same move. Okay, we got b4 in, so they're listening to you, Sabina.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, hopefully not, because that's not allowed.
Now,
These moves were played 15 minutes ago, guys, so it's
nah,
not possible. It's
that was
not
just a joke.
telepathy, early telepathy, maybe. But
So
I think
yeah,
I know Eric, I believe. Eric Shaw.
maybe bishop d4. Nah, I think they're gonna have to take. All right, so this is first board for k9. Now let me see.
Yeah, and the second board was Chloe's game. There was
Correct.
also that nice, we were talking about wanting to go e4, e5, but looks like she went for c4 instead. This pawn structure is also really good for white, actually.
Very interesting. Yeah,
c4.
she was trying to avoid the trade of bishops, and now after the trade, we get the famous hanging pawns. Very tricky. You have to know how to play with the hanging pawns. You have to know how to play against the hanging pawns. I think the main thing to keep in mind is if you have the hanging pawns, you want to keep them next to each other to control all of these squares. And of course, wait for the right moment to advance them. If you ever push any of the pawns, you create weaknesses. So you want to make sure that you have a good purpose for it, or you're able to put them next to each other again. For black, I guess if they're playing against these hanging pawns, they want to try to provoke the advancement of those pawns and create weaknesses. But
that's true. The one that stays behind remains to be the weakness that you're putting pressure on and trying to win. But
correct.
This is one of those kind of pawn structure that's, I think, is quite hard. In theory, I know it so well, but I had to play recently a few games and I did not do a very good job. I remember growing up, these were some themes that my dad was emphasizing on quite a lot: hanging pawns and isolated pawns. So the ideas are simple to understand, but when you actually have to put it all together and make the calculation, that's when you need to spend a bit more time with them, because it's not that easy.
Absolutely. It's like you're like thinking, could my opponent let me do what I learned?
Exactly.
Don't move around. Don't attack me. Let me just do the right
Could I
thing
have that
here.
perfect game? And no, I remember, like, isolated pawn. I didn't have a good game for so many years, and we studied it and studied so many games. I remember I thought I knew it, but I did get in the end one really beautiful game, and I got to attack with an ISO IQP d4 pawn.
And that makes up for the games that we mess up.
That's right. And I immediately sent it to my dad, and I'm using it as an example when I teach too. But now don't think that I use my games often. If I do have one that I think it's really good, I will.
That is instructive.
Yeah. Usually, lately I started showing my losses, because I feel that my students sometimes think I'm playing so great that when they do badly, they're very sad. And the truth is, we all make mistakes, and
there's no way around it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be fun.
You have to show them that, look, I make mistakes too. And I started crying now, because it's one of those things I told you I'm passionate about. I make mistakes too, and look, this is what happened to me. They get a good laugh and they get a lesson too. Absolutely. So I think if there are coaches watching us and they need advice, I'm happy to share some. Robert, you've shared quite a few of your own, which I hope will we'll get to a point where more coaches share a bit about their insights. Not everything, of course, I understand we all have our secrets, but some things that can help us all get better, because after all, the goal of a coach, of a teacher, is to find a way to support their students to get better. You don't want your students to stay at that same level forever. You want to make sure you're leaving a legacy behind, and but in order to do that, you have to know how um, to share
Absolutely,
your
absolutely,
yeah. So
absolutely.
don't feel bad. It's not about you. It's about your students. That's
100%. All right, so I'm back here to this game where we had a nice tactic and basically White won a free piece. So it seems like all they're trying to do now, at least White is just trying to simplify the game, keep it simple, stay away from trouble. Yeah,
yeah. But with an extra piece, I think he's gonna be able
absolutely.
to add. And we had a nice comment, and I definitely want to read it because you and I had this conversation yesterday about the importance of spreading the word, or you know, emphasize supporting different groups, which I know you don't like to be put in groups, and I agree. Sometimes we have to, though, for various reasons. But Chessfields says that there's a chapter about hanging pawns and isolated pawns in Mauricio Flores's chess
True.
structures. That is a great book, actually, for people who are struggling with knowing how to deal with plans and stuff.
Absolutely.
And I think Mauricio now has a Chessable course on that too, and maybe even maybe there's a Chessable course on that particular book that he wrote years ago. But I think he also came up with something new recently. So if you're struggling with pawn structures, or your kids or students are, be sure to check out that book, because it's definitely really
Absolutely.
a good one.
Absolutely. All right, so back to board number one.
You know what? I wanted to, because you mentioned it. Unless you don't want to go to that particular game,
Talk to me, talk to me.
Robert, I don't want to put you on the spot, but remember in ninth grade, we're talking about ninth grade a bit, because there was a name there that you told me. So Santiago de Jesus
Hmm.
Casares is from Florida, and I don't know. You said he comes from a chess family, so I was curious if you
Absolutely.
wanted to look at that game.
Yeah, what is that, board 13 or something like that?
12 board, no, sorry, 13, sorry, yes. So it's second board in ninth grade.
Yeah, no, we have it on. Yeah, I was looking at the game earlier, and it seems like a pretty well balanced position. Let's see how they got here. E4, E5, Bishop C4, the Italian game. D3. Yeah, pretty straightforward. A4 preventing that B5. Rook E1, 92. Yeah, these kind of games, again, we talked about this yesterday as well. It's becoming very popular. I mean, the Italian game has always been popular, but I feel like they are finding new ideas. And in this specific position, it's a lot of maneuvering, like in the Rui Lopez. You can see the knights coming around. I'm guessing bishop e3 is possible too. Like we saw it here, bishop e6. What are you going to do about these bishops? Are you going to take? Are you going to wait? Bishop b3, definitely taking on e6. We open the file for the rook. We give them more control with the center. So White decided, nah, let me go back.
But
Go ahead.
yeah, but you can also show queen b3 in that moment, and there's a defense, or trade first in queen b3, right?
Oh, okay. So bishop e6,
Is that
takes.
working right now, or is queen c8, and then do we have something or not?
I don't think they care. I think queen d7, right?
Yeah.
Can we
Oh,
play?
d7.
Yeah, and then rook
Oh
b8.
yeah, d7 even better. Yeah, they
Yeah,
trap the queen. Yeah.
and then let me show,
I
by the
had
way,
an
just in case we have this move, and it seems like they can get out, but then you have this tactic where you just collect the queen. That's it.
Mhm.
All right. So yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a big deal. You could definitely do it. You could even queen b3 right away. Doesn't seem so bad. But White decided to just keep it simple. Bishop b3, d4.
Yeah, I like d4, trying to close the bishop in a7. No trade is there.
Exactly.
This black is a bit has a bit less space.
Yeah, this is a very, very a lot of maneuvers in this kind of positions. Absolutely. Queen e6, queen d3, c6, bishop d2, queen c2. Yeah, there's no rush. And this is the last move that we have in. There's a lot of chess to be played. They're good on the clock. This is move number 18, and let's see who knows more chess now. This is the good part.
It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
And go back to the previous game, board 12,
Yeah.
Will Morehouse against Isaac Wang. The two players are also on 5 out of 5. Actually, Nikash, the player with the black pieces in the previous game, was the player with 5. But what do we think about this position, Robert? What was this? What opening was this?
This is looking like I would say
Some Pirk, modern?
I wanted to say that, but I'm not so sure.
Because no trades have happened. There's no C4, so it's gotta have.
Yeah, it looks like a king's pawn opening, so maybe modern, maybe pure defense. Let me see. Nope.
Yeah.
Sicilian defense.
Oh, it was Sicilian. Oh, okay. Okay, never mind.
No,
so there's a Sicilian. Oh, B3 Sicilian. Yeah. Okay.
This is an anti-Sicilian.
Okay, that's how we got the B3.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now I'm curious to see.
So that's why. Sure. But okay, the pawn structures you see, like, okay, it could have been what we suggested also.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Because there was a G6, there was a C5, and you get that. So G6 is played later. The knight in F3 is captured.
Yeah, it's not the typical opening, right? So D5, Queen D3.
Yeah, this forces the doubling of the pawns, and that's how they got into that position.
Exactly.
Yeah, Bishop E2 was an option, but White probably did not want to.
Exactly.
Give up their bishop.
White, I think, is happy here. They basically got the doubled pawns and the isolated pawn, but like we said, we get the semi-open file. We get the bishop pair in this case, so it doesn't look bad. Yeah, castle, get out the way. 97. I wonder if we could play 92 here. Well, 95 is coming. 95 is coming. Well, it shouldn't be a big deal, right? So bishop g2 was played. Now, how bad was 92?
No, but it's really bad because after 95, queen c3, you know, only move. And now we capture that. Your queen is so trapped. I'm even tempted to go b5, but it doesn't work. But I mean, I would be tempted to do it.
Even b5.
No, because you take knight takes d4.
On d4 you have a way out.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I wish it worked. You know, if I could play b4, that would be brilliant. But you know,
hey, maybe you play it and they don't realize. Nice.
And maybe they don't realize, and then you win, they resign, and yeah.
No. Definitely 97 is looking for that weak square on. Or that dark square on e5. Typical maneuver. So we have to be careful with that. Bishop g2 was played. Queen a5. Queen f1. Just get away from there because 95 is coming. Yeah. So definitely, I think this is it's okay. It's a good position for both players, but it seems to be easier to play for black. It's just like you know where the pieces go. The knight wants to go to e5. b5 has to be in the air at some point, and you got pretty nice pieces, very active pieces too.
I agree that I'm not happy because f4 is not easy to be played. I really want to play f4, f5 or something.
Yeah, but not happening anytime soon.
He could, however, try to go h4, h5.
Yeah.
And the idea would be, you know, it frees up the rook, but I don't know if black's gonna respond with g5. If they don't respond with anything, the plan for white would be to maybe capturing g6, go rook h4, play f4, and try to free up some space for your pieces. So I need to, like, if you play g5, maybe then I play f4 anyways, and I've opened up at least the g file, and
exactly.
Maybe white could be fine with that. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Also, Robert, I wanted to make an announcement to everyone who's watching. I've noticed there are a few more people who joined, and we really appreciate you being here. Let us know where you're watching from and whom you're rooting for. And if you have a specific game you want us to go to, please do not hesitate to let us know. We'd love to go check out that specific game. Right now, we're kind of looking at the top boards, and you know, we alternate between the interesting positions that we see. But if you have a specific one or someone you're really wanting to find out
Just let
our
us know.
thoughts about the position, please don't hesitate to let us know. We want more chat interaction. We want to be here. Let us know your thoughts, questions. Well, about the tournament mostly. We don't have all the answers, but regarding this tournament, and definitely don't miss reading I'm posting it again because I guess it disappeared. What? How did it disappear this fast? But I am pinning once again the to the chat the Chess Life online story that was written by JJ, and with pictures and everything about how the tournament is going and what other things um, you can learn, catch up with what the players did and in the blitz, and yeah, feel free. More pictures coming soon. Okay, so we hear that. Good.
Let me see. I just saw. No, this is okay. That one we saw already.
And someone is Dylan. Hi, how are you doing?
Okay, so this is what board 27.
Someone is asking.
K3.
Someone is asking. Dylan is asking, what do we think about Ding's loss today? Do you have any comments? No comments?
No, for me, like I'm not following the World Championship closely, but to me it would be great. Like I like Din, and I think he's the more experienced player. But I would really like to see Gukesh win. I mean, imagine winning the World Championship when you're that young, right? I think it's gonna be way more exciting for him and more meaningful. It's like, come on, Din, you're about my age, man. Just let the new generation come in and have fun. Just you do your thing. But of course, that's easy to say. I'm pretty sure Din, it's tough. It's tough if he lost today. But yeah, that's my only comment. I would like to see Gukesh win, mainly because of that. It's very exciting, fresh new face to see in the World Championship, and yeah. But other than that, we know how tough it should be to play the World Championship, and especially if you
no, definitely it's it's a very tough tournament to play. And I remember maybe a month ago when Brian wanted to get a few insights from various people, he sent this email to different people, and I was trying to sound smart, so I actually don't root for either one of them. I told him, it would be wonderful if Gukesh wins because he's the youngest one, so he would be the youngest world champion we ever had.
Exactly.
And if it would be Ding, then it would be wonderful because we would see a comeback, since Ding hadn't had, great success in the past year and a half or so. And he seemed to be struggling emotionally. And personally, for me, it's great to see a story. I've always been a huge fan of chess stories. Like what was your progress? What was your what did you struggle with in order to get where you are today?
Exactly.
And that is something we sometimes don't talk about. We just look at the game and like, oh, this person won. Oh, this is the mistake. We only comment on the chess part. And that's why both Robert and I invite you to let us know whom you're rooting for and give us some insight about whether your kid, your student has played in these national championships before, what they did, what was the result, how they're coming back. Are they stronger now? Are they doing worse? We want to hear those stories and just share them here, and you're welcome to clip them and post them, and we try our best to support as many people as possible. And I personally want to apologize in advance if we're offending anyone, because we are making some judgment about the moves, and I don't want them to be perceived as if we're judging the players. It's never like that. I think as a commentator, you try to stay completely not
neutral.
You try to stay neutral regarding whom you are rooting for in a way, but you want to bring that educational value to the stream where you're discussing what's going on in that specific game. And
exactly. But we have to admit, it's so much fun to just criticize the moves since we're not playing, right? When you're the one on the board,
Of course, we're not there. We can make
yeah,
blunders,
no pressure. We could. It's just criticize people. That's always fun. No.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we're not doing that, Robert. Don't say that. Someone might get the wrong impression.
Now,
No,
clearly, we're just here to, if we see an opportunity, to point it out, and for people who are watching to observe, because I think a lot of you watching, maybe you're not that experienced. So any piece of advice or information, even if it's wrong, it's new things that you're listening to, and you're getting exposure to. So that's the goal, to learn and have fun together here.
that's right.
All right. So this is the game that we were following. So I thought they were going to play 96 right away. But
Yes,
they could.
there was A4 played.
No, bishop c5 followed by 96.
Hmm.
So they couldn't give me the pleasure of saying 96 right away.
I'm
It's
surprised about the choice because you see, in a way, like you're trading your bishop for that bishop. Okay, that's fine. The trade was going to happen anyways, but aren't you helping black get the knight on a slightly better position?
yeah. And then 93, not a fan. Maybe 93, bishop e2, queen e2, queen takes b2. Are we castling here? Can we just castle?
Florida Chess Life is saying the mistake is judged, not the player. We all make mistakes. Great commentary. Thank you. We appreciate that. We don't know who you are. Do you know who Florida Chess Life is?
Look, if you keep asking me, I'm gonna keep telling you. No, I'm really bad. I'm really bad.
Robert, you're streaming too. You gotta remember some of these usernames of people who come and watch you.
I'm really bad at that. Like I barely know who I am. So so when I'm doing my own live streams, people. I mean, I reply to the comments, but I don't know who asked. I reply to it, and yeah. Because I'm playing the games. Really bad at that. What can I tell you?
see.
But no, to answer your question,
I usually keep.
I don't
Sorry,
know.
go ahead.
No, I don't know. But thank you for being here. Thanks for the comment. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. I was just thinking about maybe I'm too much. Maybe I remember too many usernames in when I talk to people. I remember too many of their names, but I don't remember my openings. So
Priorities.
I gotta prioritize. I have to prioritize her, right?
Now, with that said, I was saying here, can we castle? And I'm not realizing if I castle, my queen is hanging. So of course not.
Did you say castle? I didn't hear you
Oh
say
yeah,
castle.
I was here like,
I was too focused.
can we just castle on it? But of course, like you don't want to take in. I mean, they have the fork.
No. But is there queen? Oh no, what do we play here? Knight c2? No, but queen c3. Is there knight takes? Can we go?
Maybe we just have to get into this. Let it be. They take
trade
back,
pieces,
and then rook b1. I mean, how bad could that be? Right, and if I get to the 7th rank, so I guess rook b8 is going to be played here. Can I just go king c2? Yeah. Now they can actually leave, and we don't get to enter the 7th rank. Okay. All right. So yeah. Queen b2 was played.
Okay, so he wants to go for that.
Now we wait to see what happens. Now, is this their actual rating? 2277, 2279?
Let me check. This is board 1, right?
This is board number 2. Minglu.
Board 2?
Yeah.
I'm checking the ratings right now. So Arush Vinod is 2295 and Minglu is 2365. These are their USEF ratings.
Okay. Well, very strong players, definitely. Very exciting game. we'll see how they continue. I think queen b2 has to happen here. Now, what do we have on board number 3? This is going back to the London. I think it's going to be more of a
Yeah,
positional
this
game.
was the one I was so surprised, Robert, about the like long castle. I don't think I've seen it be very often before in the London,
Well,
that.
there you have it. There you have
But
it.
Toshinori is spending quite a bit of time.
True.
Like,
True.
look at the time difference. It's half an hour. That's quite a long time. Just to remind everyone, the time control for this great championship is 90 minutes with 10 seconds delay. So, the time goes down. Is going to be tough a little bit to find a way to
To finish the game. To finish the game. 100%.
yeah, towards the end, it's going to be tough to finish the game.
Absolutely.
And we had that
Okay.
Sicilian yet? Did we look at this game?
This is
we
the
did.
Taiman of Sicilian, and I think last time we saw it. Let me see. Yeah, we talked about how this is a pretty quiet approach by white. Bishop e2, pawn to c3. Just develop your pieces, castle, and get to the middle game safely. Knight f3, get the bishop out. That's it. Queen e2. Yeah, bishop e4.
I was gonna ask if this if Luis is related to the other guy, but this is the other one was
No,
had a different last name.
Similar.
It's Casenas.
It's similar.
Yeah, yeah.
It looks the same, but yeah.
Yeah. No. There's an R somewhere there. Yeah, and Luis is from New York. Luis Joshua.
All right, very interesting position as well. Black just got tired of the bishop on this diagonal, so they're going for it. Yeah, very nice position. Nothing special. Let me see board number 5. We go back to Evan Park. And yeah, it looks like they ended up playing h5, knight g4, h takes g4, bishop d3. Yeah, these positions are definitely very interesting to me. Very interesting. So we're still castle, but the pawn from h is already on g4.
But I'm actually quite happy with how Evan got into this position, because now indeed you captured in g4 and you think, oh, white is going to go for h5, h6 and try to open up the file, but
Correct.
h6 is going to be met to g6. So that's going to keep the h file closed. So white won't be able to really build up any kind of attack, very likely there. And the pawn in g4 is a bit difficult to capture back because the h4 square is super controlled. So even if you go h5 to try to play rook h4, it's not going to work.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, no, we have some we have a lot of chess to be played. We have some time on the clocks. Sabina, I don't know if you'd like to take a break, wait for these games to develop.
No,
a little bit
we're
more.
not allowed. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm good either way. Good either way. Just that way we give him some.
No, yeah, I think we can certainly take a short break now. Maybe like 10 minutes or so.
Absolutely. Rather now than later when the games are more interesting.
Yeah, I think we can take a 10-minute break, and then yeah, I don't see decisive advantages for the moment besides the games we mentioned. So the last board, which was K2, where white was up a piece and was winning, and then there was a game that finished on board. Which board was it? It was on board 22.
Let me see.
So that was that board was.
Oh, well, they dropped the piece, right?
Yeah. So
yeah, those of you who missed it, this was a very nice tactic here after basically a3 attacking the knight, and black put themselves in this uncomfortable situation where now they're both attacking each other, but white gets to play first. And white said, well, if I'm going to lose my bishop, let me at least get a pawn for it, and then I collect on b4. Everything seems okay because after bishop b4, this fork is not possible, but they found a simple but creative way to make it work. Queen d3, hitting the rook, and then queen b5, and we're going to get that bishop. After that, and I think you mentioned, Sabina, that Lucas was the one leading this section, right, with 5 points?
Yes, he was the only player with 5 points. Ariv is the highest rated, I think. in that section, but he was
Yeah,
on 4.5. And yeah, this tactical idea is a bit tough to see, but usually whenever if you notice, some pieces that are not well protected, you always want to look for some
hanging
geometrical patterns
pieces.
to be able to win material, and that's exactly what happened here with Queen D3, taking advantage of that, unprotected rook in H7, and then the bishop in B4, unprotected as well with that A4 E8 diagonal opened. It was inviting for white to find, and
Yeah, if you see those
Arif was
hanging
able
pieces,
to.
you look, and if you look, you find. Okay, so we're back, and well, Sabina, I wanted to continue with this game, Eric versus Eric, or should I say Eric versus versus Eric?
I'm pretty sure the pronunciation should be the same.
Well, I want to just differentiate, but definitely I wanted to continue in this game because they're playing exactly the line that we were discussing, where
Hmm.
B4 came in, and then en passant, knight, ooh, 92
Oh.
instead. Come on, Eric.
Why didn't? Okay, maybe there was something he didn't like in that position.
I wish we could ask him, but rook b3
Yeah,
or pawn takes pawn seems pretty straightforward. Huh.
yeah, we had that pawn takes pawn, which seemed nice because we had before after knight there. Interesting. So
Yeah.
he's thinking, let's wait one more minute. And what happens? Ah,
Wow.
is he waiting for black to capture in A3 so that rook captures in B3 and stuff? Or
And then you got to fork. Yeah, but they don't have to capture. Okay, there you go. So
okay, he's bringing the knight towards F4. Maybe we will have knight F4, knight H5, putting. Oh, okay.
no, b2 was played. Give me that with a tempo on the queen, and then like you said, knight is going to f4. So I
Hmm.
guess we just don't care about the a3 pawn.
Yeah.
Knight c6, bishop e3, d4, and then bishop goes to d2. Now, what do you think, Sabina? What do you think of that pawn to d4? Was it necessary? Do you like it, or would you have played it?
I probably black needs to try to do something. His pieces are very passive. The E5 pawn cannot be easily captured.
Mm-hmm.
A3, I don't know. I don't know about bishop takes. Could the bishops be traded here?
Bishop
Um,
e3, pawn takes e3.
no, probably he doesn't want to because he opens the F file, and with the rook there, the king in F8, he was probably
Yeah.
worried of some.
Last thing he
Because
needs
this,
is the rook to get into the game as well. Yeah.
yeah, that would be something he was thinking to maybe do, but no.
Yeah. 100%. Well, in the game we got d4, bishop d2. Finally, the pawn was taken. Okay. And then h4. So I guess white is putting all of their effort on the king side, hoping they can
Mm-hmm.
get something on the black king. And if the black pieces survive that, well, they're gonna be up a pawn. But there's a lot of chess to be played, definitely.
Yeah, then this is still, game to be played. Eric Zhao has way more time at this point, and
Good point.
Eric Feng is struggling both with the time and the slightly inferior position. Okay, a pawn here, I don't think it matters that much. The bishop in D7 is super restricted. King, the rook in H8 basically is not really playing. So yeah, you have an extra pawn, but the pieces the way you have the pieces is really not ideal, basically, right?
Exactly. Well, very exciting game. Looking forward to see how this continues. And a reminder for everyone: this is a delay, is a time control, 10-second delay. There's no increment, so they have to be careful as they get lower on their clock. So that's board number 9. I think that's the first board on K10, right?
Yes.
Correct. All right.
Which board should we go to? I was looking at the bars and see if anything.
Well,
Um,
this one seems interesting. This is board number 10, which is Chloe.
yeah, Chloe.
And if we remember going back, let me go back slowly here. So we were talking about the hanging pawns, right? And
Yes.
rook d6 putting pressure on d4, or at least preparing to put more pressure on d4. d5, and this is what we were talking about. You gotta be very careful when you advance the pawns. Make sure you have a good reason for it, because once you push them, then weaknesses are created. Now, in this case, we're opening up the bishop. It comes with a tempo on the knight, and I think there are some ideas with bishop e5 as well. So d5 was played, pawn takes, pawn takes. What was the better move? Was it bishop e5?
What about what did she play here?
She played c takes d5.
C takes. Is knight f5 also an option? No. Bishop f5? No, maybe no. No, I'm more about rook e6.
That's a good point. So c takes d5 was played, and she's still in the lead, but it seems like there was something stronger. So what's that more?
Back rank is weak. Back rank is weak. h7 is weak. I don't know if there are some ways for the queen to enter into the game and hit h7, or there's some check, 97 check queen, but okay, it's not decisive, so.
Let me try this bishop. I don't know why it's. I like this move, bishop e5, but Angie doesn't like it at all. Like, why would you give that bishop? I mean, honestly, what are we accomplishing, right? They could just go back.
Yeah.
So c
like for a moment, I almost said c5, but it's not. It's not.
I mean, like you said, creative.
Yeah, but we have no threats. We have no threats in that position.
Now, I don't even think we should. Bishop takes. I don't know. I keep looking at this bishop. I don't think we're gonna get much out of that.
Yeah, I was thinking of that. Bishop takes, knight, rook takes, and then maybe bring the queen somehow, or take now. Yeah, take now.
Yeah, that seems to be the line. I don't know. It's a little bit counterintuitive. Like it's difficult. It's so difficult to let go of that dark square bishop.
Exactly. Yeah. Like that's your bishop. So what? After pawn takes, is black gonna be able to capture with the knight or something? Why isn't it as good? After c takes d5, let's try to understand what is it.
I guess maybe they could just take with the knight. That make a difference? Or you know what? Or bishop d3 followed by rook d5, maybe.
Maybe bishop d3, yeah, because you won't have any discoveries of like. But rook takes, and rook takes d5 now. I want to utilize some of the weaknesses that you still have.
But maybe we're simplifying too much.
Or simply what?
Like maybe black is simplifying too much at that point.
You think? But now bishop takes f6 could be an option, right? Bishop takes and you trade queens, but then, well, long-term weakness with the double pawns around the king, knight e4, rook f3, g3 after, I feel like, yeah, takes, queen takes, pawn takes, knight e4, or knight f5. Wait, where do we like the placement of the knight? Even knight h5 works.
Yeah,
anywhere, knight anywhere.
Definitely, these pieces are more better coordinated than the black pieces.
Yeah, definitely. The rook in 8 is not so great, and yeah.
And I can see ideas. I don't know where you're gonna put the knight, but then even some ideas with the rook or simply the queen. So yeah, this looks really good for white. So c takes d5. What's that move that they? What about rook d5 right away?
And just as we're getting back now to the commentary, if we have new people watching, please let us know where you're watching from and whether you have someone you're rooting for. You want us to get to that specific game. Don't hesitate to let us know. And
no, there's always a pressure. Yeah.
Oh, so he took it the night? Is that what happened?
No. This is me still playing around here.
Yeah, to figure out what was the best move for black here.
Exactly.
No, but yeah, I mean, it has to do with that knight getting out of harm's way somehow, or black simply. Maybe could it be that there's a knight move here? So, or you know what? What about bishop takes d3? How do you capture now?
Yeah, but that the engine is not liking that one. You see. So
Uh,
that's what I'm
no,
trying. Hmm.
yeah, trying to get. I was gonna pin white on the d file and not move my knight from c6. So let's see. What else can we have there instead of bishop d3?
C takes
Sometimes
d5.
that bar is very tricky, just so you know.
No, that's true. That's true. That's true. And I don't want to activate the engine. See if we can.
No, 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 we're not.
I mean, if it's none of those, it has to be rook takes d5. Now, why do you like this so much? So bishop f6.
Somehow,
What?
no, maybe knight. Mm.
Let me see. Oh, wait. I think it's just bishop a6, right?
No, but the thing is, you do want to take the knight in f6, right? We understand that that is something that white wants to do, right? In order to.
Yeah, but not in this line. Like that would be in the other variation, not here. Now, what's the
Yeah, yeah,
difference?
but here it doesn't work. But we need to take in d3 because otherwise, if pawn takes. Oh, bishop h7 doesn't work because the queen is pinned too.
Yeah.
There's a cross pin over there with the rook and the bishop and the d file also. So that makes kind of like the cross.
I mean, I would take on f6 any day of the week.
Yeah, the engine doesn't.
Come on, engine. Come on, engine.
No, no, the engine doesn't want.
Rook takes
You know, in a way, I
d5.
wanted to take in a6 and everything, taking d5 and some bishop e4 at the end
Yeah.
to kind of hit the two knights. But you got knight e7, and I'm not sure. Maybe we can go on that line to just show it.
I
So
still
bishop takes
like it.
a6.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do now? You take with the queen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I trade that way. Your rook will be, oh, not there. Sorry, in a6.
Yeah. No,
Trade
I
queens.
was
I
thinking,
trade queens.
I'm defended, but yeah, okay, take.
No, no, I want that rook to be back. Oh, it doesn't want that. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I guess at this point.
This is what I was thinking, but I guess black is fine. Yeah, this is the line that I was thinking. Oh, I don't. You're right. I trade my bishop. I
So
can't do
you
bishop
want
e4.
a ghost bishop to go to e4.
Exactly, exactly. Wouldn't that be great? It would be so wonderful. I forgot that I traded. Oh my goodness. This is what happens when you're super warmed up and everything, and then you take a break. Then you forget everything you've tried so hard to
No,
achieve
maybe
by
something
waking
like
up early.
queen f3 with the same idea. Like we see so many pieces on this diagonal.
Right, right. I
And
like
then
that.
this bishop is, I mean, this queen is pretty out of the game on a6, at least for now.
I like that.
But I still like this for, yeah, for white. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, this is how complex these positions can get. C takes d5 was played, and we're still waiting on,
We're still waiting on a move.
let me see.
We had quite a bit of results, actually,
All
Robert.
right. What do we
On the
go?
lower boards, it's let's they're draws. They're draws, but if you want to check them
Yeah,
out,
let's
we
do it. Let's
certainly
do it.
could.
Let's do it.
So oh, wait, 1 second. My computer is acting out.
Take your time.
No, no, it showed me the games from yesterday here to this side, and I was like, wait, I saw that game yesterday. It's not possible. Yeah, so there was a draw on board 24 with Yang Yu against Srihash Madhipati, who's the player whose game we saw yesterday, and it was our game of the round, basically.
Yeah, rook end games. We talked about rook end games yesterday. They could be tricky. Let me just see
So
how.
was one of the sides winning earlier? It seems quite symmetrical in a way. Well, white had a bit more space, but it was probably one of those Sicilians where white placed a knight in d5, I think, and got traded. The c-file opened up. White gained more space on the queen side, and right.
Yeah, there we go. So this is yeah, h4, knight b5. We open the file. Rook to c1. Queen takes c1. castle, castle. Give me that. A6. Queen to D7. Yeah, and I guess most of the pieces were traded down the file. Okay, it makes sense to me why white wants to trade on c4. This bishop is actually pretty bad. We get the bishop pair, but and of course a hitting b2 as well. So makes sense. Queen e2, hitting and opening for the rook to go up to c1.
And let's catch up with this endgame, Robert, because we have a request for one of the games.
Let's do it. All right, let me just, yeah, this is just a rook
Yeah,
endgame.
I think there was a moment in this rook endgame where black had the chance, so just
Let me see.
really fast.
I think it was right here, right? Okay,
what did black play in this position? That seems recent.
King e8.
Reasonable. That seems
e5.
reasonable. Okay, takes.
It seems like here's where they missed the opportunity. I think it was just taken on. No, that cannot be it.
No, but how about d takes and then maybe king f7 or something, because that d pawn will be weak, or maybe just move the key. No.
Okay, what could we be missing here? Rook d5. If you take on f6. I think that's what it is. I think it's just rook d5. If you take on f6, I'm gonna play e5, and my king's gonna pick this
And
up
then king
after.
f7 take the pawn. So
I'm sorry.
would have
Yeah, rook d5.
takes e5. I like that idea possibly, but I don't know. Is that necessarily the best? Because white will still have rook c2, rook c6.
Or maybe they take first, and then rook d5. I really want to take on d5.
I don't want to take before, like while giving you the opportunity. Maybe f5 here.
Oh yeah, because
so take an f5.
This pawn is going nowhere. Yeah, that makes sense. And this pawn is going to fall. All right. So I mean, yeah, makes sense, but not easy to put this on the board. And it gets to show us how tricky endgames could be. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be careful. If you have the chance, you definitely need to take it. So now the two players will be on 5.5 out of 6 after this draw, and then now, yeah, black won a pawn, but white got the activity. And
exactly.
Yeah,
and last thing I wanted to say here is how black has the rook behind the pass pawn. That's the general advice. And the rook is controlling that pawn, plus it's cutting off the opponent's king. So very nice technique. All right, what's that next board that we wanted to go to?
So board 8, we have a request to check out board 8. So we have Kosla Dhruv from Florida playing against William Safranek. Both players are 4 points. Kosla is from Florida, by the way. Just whenever I see someone from Florida, I'm wondering.
Do you live?
Do you know them?
Do you live next to this person? All right.
Are they your student? It's okay. You mentioned you want to share. That's okay. That's okay.
No.
We'll get you to share a name at some point. I have the tendency of. I'm just kidding.
Definitely, this is a very interesting game. So I see. Well, let me see how we got here quickly. Not to go too much into detail, but yeah, pretty straightforward. Lopez. Very
Lehman.
interesting. Yep.
Lehman. Okay, I had to play once against this with white pieces. It was not fun.
Absolutely, and I'm guessing the black pieces are well prepared. Knight f6, castle, d6, queen to d3. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Queen c4, I guess this is just preventing that castling, and bishop e6 is not even possible now. And even knight g5 could be annoying at some point.
Yeah, and knight a5 is not possible yet.
Correct.
Either, because you would want it.
Exactly. a6.
So allowing the capture in c6, but they don't care?
They couldn't care less. Yeah, they couldn't care less. Give me that.
Okay.
Queen c6. I wonder if knight g5 was a move here. I mean, I know d5 is in the air, but then I take with check.
And knight g5, you're strengthening some queen f7, queen e6. Draw. Maybe there's more. I don't know.
Queen c6. Bishop d7.
Queen c4?
No, back to c3. Huh.
Queen c4, bishop b5.
Yeah. And you get skewered.
But I mean, I guess you could try to still keep the queen on the diagonal, like queen b3, bishop takes f1, and knight g5. But probably, black will somehow defend. Yeah.
Yeah. Knight takes e4. Queen c4. Yeah, this time we don't mind it if they go bishop e5 because we get 2 minor pieces for the rook, so that's nice. Knight c3, queen e2. Yeah, develop quickly. This king's still in the center. I mean, they could castle anytime, but knight d7, and now they're ready to castle. Rook d1, castle.
It's actually interesting because this kind of pawn structure, when you see it, you're like, who's up material? And then you realize, wait, no, pawns are the same.
It's the same amount of pawns.
Black just has the bishop pair and a central
correct
chain that could start advancing if you're not careful.
Two
so you
pawns
have
in
to
the
be careful
center.
with white.
Yeah, this is a very nice game. Very nice position, actually. Very nice position. I guess black really wants d5 to happen. So knight to d5. We don't want that to happen, and we could remove the bishop pair if we wanted to. It doesn't have to be right now. There we go. And then knight to g5. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Bishop g8. Pawn to c4. Very interesting move. So white really understands what black needs, which is that d5 push, and they're doing everything they can to prevent that from happening. So knight f6. Also interesting to mention two things. You mentioned this yesterday, so we get to reinforce it today. Since white doesn't have the light square bishop, they have the queen on a light square. So
That's correct.
It sort of complements the other bishop. This bishop controls the dark squares, the queen controls the light squares. And another way to complement this bishop is by using your pawns. So the bishop controls the dark squares, and the pawns could control the light squares in the center. So knight f6, bishop d2, c5.
Oh, that's nice. You're just taking advantage of the queen, just suddenly moving on the d file, same file as the rook, so you want to open it up.
And then this pawn, of course,
right.
as well hanging.
And obviously you can't do much with black, because if you take, you're messing up your pawn structure completely, even if there's nothing tactical, which I don't think there is. You're just messing up your chain. So you want to keep the pawns connected and push them, but it's not so easy. Easier said than done.
Exactly. No, and they could also be a target at the end of the day. So bishop a2, going back. Yeah, now this is a tricky. We get to this position. This is tricky now because black seems to be safe. They got an extra pawn now, and if this position gets simplified, then there's no attack. There's no initiative for the white pieces either. And we see opposite color bishop, so this could be interesting. We talked about this yesterday. So we'll see how they continue from here.
We did not disagree on it. We started as a disagreement, but then we agreed.
We fixed it. Yeah, exactly. we learned something there.
We're saying we're very careful with what we're saying. No, but it's really, I mean, opposite color.
Exactly. No, I was gonna say I'm glad that they mentioned this board because it's a very interesting game indeed.
And let us know whom you're rooting for. Which color are you rooting for? 3-3-2. I'm trying to find out. Maybe we can get some insights. I always love to hear some story about the players. If one of their coaches or parents is in the chat, because we can't get those stories otherwise, and we want to find them out.
Definitely an interesting game.
And like white's attack is not happening now, is a bit returning.
Yeah, I don't think they have much. I don't think they want to trade, but regardless, I don't think they have much anyways.
They don't want to trade, but if you move the knight, maybe queen takes e5 and black manages to do what they wanted to.
Yeah.
You kind of have to trade, or knight c3.
So knight f6, I'm guessing rook takes f6.
And maybe pawn takes with the idea rook g8 and hitting the g file. I don't know if it's an option. I'm just thinking.
Yeah, it looks counterintuitive, but yeah.
Yeah, because, since white has retreated their pieces from the attack, they don't have the light square bishop. I don't think h7 is going to be an easy target.
Yeah, I don't think
So,
they white can claim any initiative or any attack or anything like that.
mhm.
I have to agree. It looks more natural to just take with a rook, maybe double up the rooks and just keep the king safe, keep that extra pawn. It maybe even rook g6 at some point. But yeah, and you could even play a 5 at some point.
Yeah, F5, F4, F3.
Hmm.
Let's go.
Yeah, yeah,
As much as possible.
100%. All right, so this is board number 8. Definitely, we have to come back to this.
Yeah, let's go back to board one, Robert, because I think something strange happened there. What is going on in this? Is this board one? Yeah, board one I wanted.
Yeah, this is Avi Kaplan. So queen
Yeah, we
d3.
left off around here somewhere
Mm-hmm.
or earlier.
I think
Where?
last thing I saw was h4. Let me see. Okay, right here.
And we knew it was gonna be double edge, but the current position does not really look double edge. So I wanna hear your thoughts about that
Queen
that
d3,
position.
improving the queen, indirectly putting pressure on the rook. They protected it. c5, d takes e5, queen e3, bishop e4. All right. Well, if we just evaluate this, I think it's pretty clear that the black pieces are better coordinated. Also, I'm not a fan of this pawn on b3.
Yeah, backwards.
Yeah, it looks to be like these pieces are more active and better coordinated. No hanging pieces. For white, this bishop is pretty ugly. The pawn on b3 we already mentioned. And that's it. These knights are not really working together. The bishop just left the long diagonal to get on h3. And now it's like, okay, what am I doing here? Yeah, definitely should be easier to play for black. And I'm always looking at the clock because I know how uncomfortable it should be being in this position with all of the pieces around your territory, and then having 12 minutes on the clock. And anyone who has played tournaments, you know how it goes. So you're here as white, for example, you're calculating a little bit, trying to find that next move. You look to the side and you don't have 11 minutes anymore. You have 7. And then
Yeah,
next thing you look
you're
at the clock,
right.
you have 3 minutes. And you're like, what?
So
Uh,
true. So true, Robert.
so it's very uncomfortable. Very, very
It is.
uncomfortable.
No, I agree because these are some typical ideas you encounter in some King's Indians. When you move the bishop to h3, try to get the knight away to push the central pawns, but here your queen is misplaced,
Yeah.
doesn't help those pawns to push forward. You can't utilize your majority on the queen side, so there's definitely going to be some tricky things to happen here. For the previous game, by the way, I was told that the person who told us about the game to look at is a parent and was rooting for the player with the white pieces. So
There you go.
in a way, black was doing slightly better in that position, but hopefully,
No,
the
and anything could
white will
happen. Anything could
anything
happen.
can happen. There's a huge development on board 9, Robert, which is top board in
Oh yeah,
K10.
the Erics.
The Erics, yeah, I wanted to see what happened because remember when we left off the king, we said we don't like the king in f8. What's black gonna do to free up their pieces? And it seems like they haven't really quite been able to do that. So what happened? Queen
Yes.
e5.
So quickly here, we basically, yeah, we had queen g3, knight c3, and then Sabina was mentioning, hey, what if they just play b4? And they play b4. Now we were debating between, oh, should they take with the c pawn or should they take with the rook? And then Eric played 92, Eric Chao, and after 92 we have pawn to b2. Then queen c7, knight f4, knight c6, and we fast forward to this position where Sabina pointed out if they take, then we take with the f pawn, activating the rook. So instead, pawn to d4, bishop d2. They finally took the pawn, and now the white pieces are just trying to prove that they have something going on the king side. So h4, knight takes on e5. That seems to be a horrible mistake. Now,
According to the engine, and it feels that way in a way because you're helping white open up. I don't think there's something specifically tactical here, despite the potential discovery
I don't think it's
on
something
the
you could
queen.
exploit right away, definitely, but
Yeah, but b7, I don't think you should allow white's rook to get to b7. I don't know if that happened right now or later, but
yeah,
I
yeah,
think it did.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that pawn, you see, this is a bit different than what we were talking about with Robert in previous yesterday in some of the games, right? Where there are two pawns, one of yours, one of the opponent, and you gotta make the decision which one you take. And usually you try to keep your pawns connected, and then take the weaknesses, right? You don't wanna, if the opponent has more weaknesses, you don't wanna take them too soon because your pawns are protected and everything. Well, here the pawn in b7 is certainly a weakness, and it would seem like that's a weakness, and the pawn in e5 is a strength. So you want to make the trade. But there's more into this particular position because the seventh rank will bring, white will bring a rook on the seventh rank, and in coordination with the other pieces that are already on the king side, white will be able to create a very unpleasant, lots of unpleasant surprises to black. So that's why that is a pawn you want to be super careful to give out. You keep it there. It keeps the rook closed, don't give the seventh rank, don't give white activity.
In other words, it's not about the pawn, it's about the seventh rank.
It's about the seventh rank, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, I could have said it faster, but
no,
I love to.
No, hey, the more information, the better.
Things.
The more information, the better. Rook b7, and then this is just very comfortable. That king, comfortable for white. That king now is trying to defend the bishop. They have to worry about the g7 pawn, and we just need to add more pressure now as the white pieces. I'm thinking moves like rook e1, even doubling up on the b file. Almost anything is good for white here. Yeah, rook e1. What are you gonna do now? Queen d6. G7 is falling. I don't know if we want to take it right now, but there we go. Rook g8, queen h7, e5. Oof, that's it.
7. Ay. This is not looking good for Eric Fang.
The thing is, once you give him a chance, all of these pieces that have been waiting for a long time, they get activated, and then all of a sudden it's not just the rook, it's the rook and the queen, and then the bishop, and you have to find the right move to defend. Knight to d3. Yep. And now it's so uncomfortable for black because you feel at that moment you feel like your opponent is finding every single move, all the good moves they're finding, and it only gets more and more uncomfortable. Yeah, they had to sacrifice material. Bishop c6. Oof, nice pin. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. Your bishop is going to be pinned. You cannot take me, and this is where we are at right now. But yeah, this has to be. There we go. They took. This has to be very comfortable for the white pieces.
Yeah, I'm anticipating bishop takes h6, so an f4 also. This game might not last very much. There's another game that was kind of important for our standings, and that's board 6, Robert. We looked at this game, and that is board 2 in the 11th grade, and we have Marvin Gao with 4 points against Zhu Liran, and Zhu was trying to to keep close to the leaders. He's gonna play against one of the the two players, Evan Park or Kent Slade, who are 5 out of 5 playing each other. So regardless of what happens, he's gonna play one of those. Well, not regardless, but he's gonna play one of those players very likely in the next round. So because looks like Zhu Liran is winning here.
Yeah. And this is an interesting game because we saw you mentioned earlier. F5, F4, F3. Well, that actually happened in this game, where after the white pieces got this knight from B1 to D2 to C4, we saw that knight going around. We talked about the pawn sacrifice. Yeah, and then we had E4 and F4, and I was curious to see if they were going to play F3. Now, did they play it? There we go. So here I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if they open up that king. And to me, I like to play the King's Indian defense, and we get this theme a lot. So very exciting to see it in this position. 94. Yeah, they're not even in a hurry to take on F3. Bishop B4, Bishop H3. Yep, the king is open. We bring pieces now to attack that king. Yep. Pretty straightforward. They're not even trying to hide it. Okay, well, I'm going to D6 and then checkmate.
You need to give some material back maybe at some point. Takes, okay. But, okay, so he gave up an exchange, but is it really that bad? I mean...
Well, I think it's because not only did they give the exchange, but their king situation is not that good.
Could we go a couple moves back? I feel that maybe there was maybe so okay, white captured in f3, bishop f1. Okay, do we need to give up to make a trade of those bishops? What about bishop g4 in this position, Robert? Or maybe not that. Maybe no, let's save the dark square bishop. That I forgot about the dark square. I want to keep my bishop pair and
Maybe bishop d4.
if you're going to stay down material, you don't want to trade your pieces. You actually want to keep more pieces on the board because the more pieces there are, the harder it is for the opponent to really. I don't know if bishop d4, bishop takes d6, or knight takes d6. What about knight takes d6? How would that be?
Knight takes d6. You mean here?
Yeah. I'm just trying to find the best kind of continuation that would give me something in return for the exchange that I've just given up.
Exactly.
Like I'm trying to get some material and
Yeah, this would be a little bit better. It's just that again, it's easy for us to analyze that now, but at the moment you're like, oh, this bishop could be really annoying if they go back. It's gonna stay on the board and it could be
I
trouble.
agree. But at least white has the bishop pair for the exchange and
That
then the d pawn passed.
that's a good
That's a
point.
great strength. It's a
That's a good
great
point.
strength to have with material imbalances.
That's a
There's
good point. Yep. Yep. Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, this is definitely. It looks like a better version of what they get.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, now this happened. It happened anyways, but it seems like the key is that bishop. We had to keep the bishop, the light square bishop.
Mm,
Yeah. Now they're down on exchange. The game is pretty well.
yeah.
It's simplified, and the king is still not happy on the king side.
Yeah, you see, white got rid of black's light square bishop, but they also got rid of their own, which was a great defender
Correct.
on that long diagonal. Is very important to cover because there's no pawn in g2 anymore. And I think if there was a pawn in g2 and you could take away one of my b pawns, I think white could have some chances to maybe survive, although that d pawn will be lost too. So it would be tough, but this way the pawn will be lost, and I think Liren Zhu or Zhu. I'm not sure exactly how it's pronounced. I need to find out because I just learned that ZH usually is not pronounced Z as I thought, but apparently J sounds. So, if someone knows how to pronounce some of the names, I want to apologize in advance if I mispronounce it. I know myself, sometimes I don't like when people mispronounce my name, but it's fine.
Well,
my last name is fine. As long as you call me Sabina, I'm cool. Just don't call me Sabrina. That's all I'm asking.
well, this one, yeah, I think on top of it all, the D pawn is falling, so there's no counterplay at all for white.
Let's go back to Chloe Gao's game because Chloe, that was 10th board, I think. She was second board in K-12. 10, sorry, K10, 10th grade.
Yep.
We left it off around here where the engine was not happy with the fact that she didn't take the knight, but looks like something happened, and I think her position is close to winning at the moment.
Look at this. So queen e8, and then she just sacrificed the rook on d5, followed by queen g4.
Yeah,
Checkmate.
Chloe loves tactics, I think, from what. Yeah, that's
and it
cute.
looks like tactics love Chloe too, because this one.
That's right. Nice one. Nice one.
Knight queen g4 mate. I'm threatening knight f6. What are you gonna do about it? Because you're giving me something. That was pretty nice actually. Simple but nice. There we go. And queen g4. And this is the bishop that we were talking about before. Very powerful bishop. So when your pieces are in the right, when they're active, tactics are gonna be in the air. There we go. Yeah, this is just devastating now. Devastating now.
Yeah, Chloe's on her way to win. Nice one.
And
for
not
Chloe.
only to win, but that was a nice win. All right, let me see it one more
There's
time.
a nice win, a positional win. This might be maybe our game. We'll see.
Absolutely.
There's still a long way to go. Everyone watching us, please let us know what's the next game you want us to go to. We'd love to hear your opinions. Don't be shy to let us know if you're rooting for someone in particular.
Okay, so what happened here with Eric? Okay, yeah, so this is the game that we left off after rook takes b7. Let me go back here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
rook takes b7.
the rook is on the 7th rank. Then they took on g7. You said, oh, bishop a6 is probably coming in.
Let's see if it did. Not yet.
Rook back to b7. Now they want to simplify the game. Very important. We've talked about this. You're attacking. You got an advantage. Well, happy to switch gears and go into an endgame that is easy to convert. Yeah, that's it. Up an exchange. The same. What's going on with these pins? It's the same idea that he did before. Like, let me see if I can find bishop b5 here. Like, okay, you're attacking my rook. I'm going to pin you. Now we see you're attacking my rook. I'm going to pin you as well.
This is a beautiful game. Maybe this is kind of a nice pattern.
Yeah,
Robert.
absolutely. Very attacking, and yeah, very, very nice. Yeah, this has to be over. This has to be over.
Yeah, this will be over very soon, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Now,
and third board finished in a draw. Daniel Deutsch against Toshinori.
okay, so this is another game that we're following.
Yeah.
Let me just.
Let's go to board 8 again after. Oh, sure. After that, after we're
Let's go
reviewing
back
this.
to no. This one, it was just. It looks like they just.
Can you just scroll down just a little bit, Robert?
Yeah, 100%. There we go.
Great, thank you.
And then this one, I think they just agreed on a draw here. So this is the one that was the London. And then after 94, yeah, they're like
long castles, and I was like, oh my god, what's going on? But
yeah. I guess
Nothing.
they just want to go have some lunch and then be ready for the next round. All right. So
well, it's true. I mean, the players have played already, 5 games. This round was in the morning. 9 a.m. is quite an early time to wake up, considering yesterday lots of the games actually were played till around maybe 9:30, 10. We only know about the boards that were live, right? But some of the boards are not live, so we don't know exactly when the tournament games actually finished and when they posted the pairings. So
That's true,
they got one more round that's important, so they can focus on that.
That's true. Yeah, this game we were following it as well. Bishop we know that the favorite here, or at least the audience, was following the white pieces player. But then after bishop a2, yeah, we said pawn takes was probably more accurate, but I mean, it's not as natural. It looks more natural to just play rook f6. Then pawn to b4, trying to create something. Is rook g6 coming, or just bishop d5, something? There we go. Bishop d5, putting pressure on g2, f3, and all of their pieces are activated. I don't know about you, Sabina. I'll feel better as the black pieces here, simply because they have this pressure, better coordination.
Yeah, this is the thing with the opposite color bishops and major pieces being able to work together, because it attracts weaknesses, particularly if you can point your pieces towards the opponent's king. And black is in a position to do that because they have those 2 pawns in the center, whereas for white, the bishop cannot go to c3 to attack black's king. There's a pawn in e5, very unpleasant. And
Absolutely.
So for white, you need to kind of focus now on, I don't know, on the d6 pawn, but the pawn down is not really helping.
No, and the thing is, I don't think white has a lot of time to organize any attacks, because I don't think black is going to slow down on the pressure.
Yeah, it's just not over yet, and this is still a game, because
of course
the bishop in d5 also stops a bit those pawns from advancing, and with them being opposite color bishops, you always have to be mindful for ideas. But okay, 100%. We'll see. White has to be careful. Wait, well, wasn't that a blunder? Isn't it bishop c4 winning an exchange after?
After the threat of queens, right?
Yeah. Why didn't he take with the rook? Is rook takes? Is there something in f3 hanging, or?
No, I think that he just. I think it's just a matter of maybe he was just so focused on, okay, you're attacking me, let's simplify the game.
Yeah, but okay, this is not bishop c4. Oh.
No, there's something here that we're not seeing.
No. Oh, here? No. I said, why didn't he go there? But No, I don't know. There's something in F3. I'm sure there's something with the capture in F3 somehow. I'm not sure what is the best.
All right, let me see. If rook a6, what's so bad about that? What's coming? Bishop f3, rook takes, rook takes. Oh yeah, it's just bishop f3.
Mm.
Right? And then I'm hitting g2.
Right, so rook takes, but no, but at the end there's a back rank, so you can't really do that. Oh, sorry. Okay, there's no back rank. I thought I have rook b6 or some intermediate move, but you take back with check. Yeah, my bad. Never mind.
Yeah, that'll come with check, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, rook f3. I thought, and also queen f3. Queen takes, and the queen controls the a8 square. Maybe you want to show that. Just
Oh yeah, okay. So
know.
yeah, boom, boom, and then they cannot go to the back rank. Yeah.
Exactly. And we cannot take the queen because we're pinned. Oh, okay. So rook a6 wouldn't work anyways, but white should not necessarily be in a rush to take the pawn. What about a move like rook a3 just to defend? I mean, let's see. What are you gonna do next? E4? A4? Yeah, just okay, you got a threat. Let's defend it. I know we normally would want some king h1, but that just puts your king on the same diagonal as those pieces. You're trying to avoid those things.
That's not going to be any better. But yeah, rook a3 seems to hold that. It seems to defend. But anyways, it's just a lot of pressure that they're putting. And like you said, we see in full effect the opposite color bishops. This bishop cannot be stopped by any minor piece because this bishop cannot control, obviously, the light squares. Yeah. No, this is, and like I said, it's just that white now has to defend. They cannot organize any attacks. There are even some ideas with bringing the h-pawn down, particularly if they were to play king h1. It's just too much going on here. Now, in the game, we have queen a6, and I think this is pretty easy now. I did not checkmate you, but I'm going to get material. Yeah, give me that. Activate the king. Yeah, you see now we're quickly switching gears because we're going from attacking to an endgame where we need to activate the king. And this pawn, of course, is not going to go anywhere. It's an isolated pawn. It's far from promotion.
I mean, it could make it to b6. If white somehow would get the bishop in c7, pawn in b6, maybe they would have some chances. But I'm not sure if that's really.
I wonder if was this any good? Maybe unnecessary, but
e4.
Yeah. I mean, I know we don't want to be trading pawns as we get to this endgame.
No, but I'm not sure I want to trade. Maybe I go f4.
Okay, but then I have the pass pawn, right? I have to.
Yeah, I understand, but also I get to block them. Maybe not yet.
What if I go d5?
Yeah, you can do that, and I don't have. Okay, so go back. E4. Okay, this weird move, but E4. Can I go bishop f4?
Bishop f4? Do you really want the back rank? Is that what you're saying?
It's just.
Well, I guess
I was trying. I told you I love fancy moves. Okay, so I'll take.
You take back. Okay, now I don't have to do anything. I could just open up escape, and you gotta do something about this.
Yeah, I'm gonna take rook takes d6, and then you trade, and then you take in f3, and. Yeah. Ooh, but wait. When you take an f3, I play g3, Robert.
What? What do you mean g3?
No, not here. Like earlier when I play bishop f4, fancy move.
Okay. You play
All
g3?
Right, so, yes. Let's go.
You really want the fancy move?
Yeah, I want the fancy move. Yeah, I mean, that's why we're here, to show some fancy moves.
All right, I'm going to go d5.
Rook d5.
Sabina, you want to get on the board? You want to play me from this position? You want to get a nice...
I don't know. You seem like it's kind of scary. I don't know. I'd be scared.
No, I think...
You scare me.
I think this... Yeah, I think I appreciate the creativity, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Now,
I'm trying to find some defensive ideas for... No? Okay, well...
I know you're doing it for the audience.
No. I mean, I'm like that. So, growing up, my dad was a chess player, strong international master.
So you were pushed.
He still is. He's not. No. So basically, I always disliked our interactions at times because, I would get these great positions, and somehow he would know what was something he could do to make me mess up.
Exactly.
And that was he was starting talking. Okay. So that's not normally allowed when you play a regular game, but my dad was getting into my mind. He was
No,
starting,
but it's good training.
to say some things. And actually, that's a good kind of training sometimes. It can
Exactly.
help for later when you actually play over the board. Because now I'm working with one of my students, and she's really getting better at chess, but she has this emotional problem. If there's a noise, external noise, it bothers her, for example,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
So, I was not comfortable when my dad was doing that to me. And to this day, I'm like, oh, Dad, why did you
But it
do that to
helped.
me? It does, yeah, because I usually don't get that distracted during a game. I mean,
Of course.
if there's a big noise happening, yeah, maybe I will take a look is everything still okay? Am I safe here?
Exactly.
But these distractions, like if you're gonna tell me, oh, that's a bad move, or oh, I can't believe you're playing so badly, or something negative, I will just be like, you know what? I'm gonna prove to you that you are wrong, and
Absolutely.
it's just gonna start a fight, which is good because it motivates you to forget about what they are saying and not take comments to heart, but rather focus on the position and develop your creativity. This is my
Absolutely.
favorite part of chess,
Absolutely.
Robert. I don't know what yours is. You'll tell me in a second, but I love the creativity part, Even in some position that you think is nothing can happen, there's this suspicious looking move that could put the opponent in trouble. That's what I love the most about chess, that you can do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What's your favorite part?
That's a good question. I think what I appreciate the most is how you have to be on your toes throughout the entire game. It's not like, oh, I got an advantage and I'm set. You have to continue to push. Even when you're ahead, you cannot slow down because the other person is looking for that resource to turn things around. So you have to be put 100% until the game is over.
That's
So
right.
that's to me. Of course, there's so many other things, but that's the first thing that comes to mind. 100%.
I agree. I know. I mean, that's something I always tell my students. You didn't win the game until you signed the score sheets,
Exactly.
you
And
know.
still in basically.
Yeah, make sure you write down on the board, that you want to. No, but seriously, like normally in tournaments, you don't
No,
go
of
put the
course, of
result
course.
yourself. It's the arbiter that does that. Okay, in bigger tournaments, you do put it yourself, but um, until the game is really over, it's not over, and there can still be room for mistakes, right?
Absolutely,
So the person
absolutely,
who wins is the one who made the penultimate mistake.
absolutely. So
The
here,
ultimate one is two losses, and it's
absolutely.
over.
Yeah, this is Eric.
This one.
Yeah, so white pieces finally. Yeah, we said it. Game is over. Two rooks versus rook and knight. The pawn is lost. They're not coming back from this. So good game overall. This is the one where we saw the rook coming to b7, and then it was just too much pressure. Just too much pressure. Yeah.
It was indeed. Is there anyone in the chat? Oh, we have a question. Well, they said for me, but you already said that you're not, you're waiting for the match to kind of catch up with it. Someone is asking in the chat what I think of Gukesh's win today and Ding's major blunder. At some point today, I was gonna make a joke because you did mention Queen C8. It was in one game, I forgot which one. Queen C8 in our commentary was a good move.
And that was
Unfortunately for Ding today was not. It was a huge blunder that allowed a loss of piece on C6 because of a pin, and that was just heartbreaking to see. I'm not rooting for either one of the players. I'm just always interested in creativity and stuff, and we already mentioned, what we think, but I think it's tough to lose as they're approaching the end of the match. 14 games. The match is 14 games. And right now Gukesh is leading by 1 point. I think it's 5.5, 4.5, or 6. Yeah,
so
right?
they probably have 3 more games to go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So now, the more and I think Ding actually mentioned that, I don't know if it was him or Gukesh, but one of them mentioned in the post-game interviews that the more the match approaches the end, the tougher it is to lose because you don't have as much time to come back.
To recover, yeah.
So I think in a way, now everything is back in the air in the sense that way Gukesh is leading. So I feel that Ding is gonna bring it tomorrow. Something aggressive, I think, is
Exactly, exactly.
gonna
It's
gonna
interesting.
beat.
It's also more exciting for the audience to see a game like that, a match like that where someone is leading. Because if it's just draw after draw, it's not as exciting to follow it. Now people will be like, okay, is he gonna be able to come back or so? It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be exciting.
It will be. It will be for sure. And yeah, it's tough. We all make blunders. Like nobody's perfect.
Exactly.
Besides me, of course. Just kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
All right. So
well, for yourself, you have to think that you're good, but you need to also be objective when it's time to be objective about, things that you can improve for sure.
absolutely, absolutely. All right. So this is still the first board, and it looks like there are too many pawns for black here, and one of them is gonna make it.
That bishop in G7 is a monster.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, in my
You mean
family,
like
my
like
mom.
five years ago?
Yeah, yeah, I'm so young. Thank you very much. I appreciate the compliment. But people usually don't get my age right still, so that's a good thing.
Exactly.
But my sister and my mom were playing the Catalan, and I would try it a little bit, but it wasn't really. I should probably add that opening. That's something you want to know. But it was that bishop, and we would say the Catalan bishop. Now this is for black, so I would call it maybe the Grunfeld bishop or something like that. At this point, we don't, when you see a position like this, you don't know what opening it really was.
Exactly.
But it's just the idea, the strength of a bishop on that longest diagonal, whether it is, the white bishop or a black bishop on the longest diagonal. There we got two, right? It's really such a powerful piece. And if you allow that entire diagonal to open from one end to another, and there's a pass pawn that's being supported to the
Absolutely.
promotion square, you are in a very difficult position.
Correct. Correct. Absolutely. And it's interesting that we keep seeing this opposite color bishop over and over and over.
There's always a theme, Robert. I need to catch you up to this. Every single time that I've done commentary with someone for an event for US Chess,
Huh.
somehow there was a recurring theme, and I don't know if it's fate. I don't know if it's our way of approaching things or how our minds work, but we happen to get similar themes each time. And this is, I guess, we happen to have focused on that opposite color bishop theme, and now we're just rolling with it. But yeah, it is a bit surprising to me, because it's been a while since I've seen opposite color bishops. I mean, I've seen it here in the tournament that I did commentary for before, but
Yeah, but crucial games have had that theme. That's true. That's true.
yeah, crucial games were looked at, yeah, here.
Exactly.
But is white gonna be able to do anything now with the light
No,
square
no,
bishop?
no.
No,
I
because
think
he cannot sub those spots.
yeah, I think and this one is coming with a tempo, which is just the annoying part now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think they have the time.
I mean, you have the root check. You can check, but how far are your checks gonna go?
Yeah. And then what happens if they just go, let's say they just play rook c2
Can I play rook b2?
and then
Or no, rook b2?
I don't know. I guess you bring the
No,
king
maybe
over,
not rook
right?
b2. That's maybe a3. Can I play a3?
Maybe a3 and then rook b2 if anything.
Yeah, because otherwise you manage to go bishop d3, b1, and
Yeah, like if they do this now, okay, maybe now we go rook b2.
no. But now we trade on bishop a2, and it might take you some time to win. You take like
No, no,
this.
no. Regardless, you have either bishop d3 or bishop a2.
No. But
I mean,
I don't have the time to take in e6, but
yeah,
I might give myself some chances there.
I think regardless, those pawns are gonna be together, and then the king is gonna come over. Either I win on that side, or I simply collect some of these pawns when your king comes over to defend as well.
Mm-hmm.
But let me see. King g2 was the last move, and I don't. Okay. No, that's it. I don't think our board. Oh yeah. So c3 was played, rook d8, king f7, Bishop d3 now. Interesting. I guess rook b.
Robert, I found an interesting position,
Talk to me. Talk
possibly.
to me.
It's board. What board is this? 11.
Board 11. Let's go there.
Andrew Fang against Abiram
Okay.
Oturi. I just saw the knight in f5 hanging knight, and I had to go to this position.
Yeah, no, definitely very strong attack on the king side. All the action happening there. If we split the board in half, we got 4 attackers on the king side. Now, are we wondering what if they take? What if they take?
We are wondering. Yeah, we take.
Yeah, I guess the rook g2 is coming in, and then now what if I? Oh, by the way, bishop is also hanging here, so
Yeah, that's the issue. You have to go bishop c8, or where are you gonna move that bishop?
you see the same pattern. We keep talking about c8.
C8 square.
Yeah,
And now we have the beautiful Finnish rook g2 check, and yeah, we can go to c8.
all
So
right,
I
so
think you
bishop
have to give
c8,
it up
rook g2,
as mate.
and that's the end of it.
I don't know. Black has to give up the bishop, but once you give up the bishop, yeah, the knight f5 is a nice move. But you know, the problem is the more I look at this position, it's like I love the move. Okay, I love a hanging piece
But
any time of the day, but there's no threats.
yeah.
There's no threats, you know.
And they have to be careful because this queen doesn't seem to have many squares too. So, I mean, I don't think it could be
Yeah.
attacked. Maybe some g5 at some point. I don't know, but well, we'll see.
Where was the knight? Where was the knight earlier?
So this happened,
Oh, took there.
and then they were like, "Oh, should I go back and be passive, or should I be fancy and go to f5?"
Yeah, but white has to be careful here. You definitely you cannot go h5 because very likely g5 will be played, and that queen is definitely trapped over there.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe somehow you still survive, but you know, I would be scared to keep my queen there. Maybe g5 you want to play, but you always need to make sure your knight isn't hanging. It's
Oh, and the other interesting thing is that knight, as fancy as it is, it doesn't have many good squares too. So
that's the thing. It has none. There's no squares to go to next.
yeah. Okay,
Unless
so
you've taken f4.
I think
Okay, so
I think h5. Let me go down here a little bit. H5 was played, anyways, and like you said, it cannot be good. It just cannot be good. Is g5 gonna be played?
yes, definitely. No?
Yeah, g5 was played.
E5, Robert. Take that. Let's go.
Okay, but what if I just
It's not.
what if I just take with the queen?
I just give it to you. You can take it. I have to play e5, otherwise you go queen e5. No, I play e5, and then I go rook gg2.
Okay, and then bishop takes f5.
Rook e2. Let's try it out. I don't know.
Rook e2. Okay, let's play it out. Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
I'm just trying to come. No, so it doesn't like it all. Sad rook e2.
Yeah, it's just that again, I'm not so sure what you want to do. Okay,
Yeah, I don't have sacrifices. I mean, so I'm sad. Okay, let's go back one more move. Like, let's go back to the position after g5. This needs to be a move that white plays. Ah, d4 maybe, Robert. d4 here for white, would that be?
But then the pawn takes.
And then knight takes.
Yeah, and I just go back.
But at least I've opened up something, so...
No, you're right. You cannot just stay there quiet. That's true.
No, the queen is trapped. I mean, I would feel so uncomfortable here, having my queen trapped like that.
Okay, so let me see. H5 was played. G5. E5.
No, that was our analysis,
was
which
that.
I thought. Yeah. I thought, there could be something, but I couldn't really see anything, which...
Okay, so let me see. H5 was played. G5. E5. No, E5. This is
I thought there could be something, but I couldn't really see anything, which... Something else that could happen after g5. I mean, it's not gonna lead to anything. It's knight h4, but I don't know if you can take it in h4 and then we can go g5. Probably we cannot. It's nothing, right?
No, no, no. No, it's just that if we can, I mean, this position with the knight on f5 give us some good attacking chances, but without the knight, it's like we're running out of attackers now, and the black pieces are really well coordinated. Now is g5 gonna be played?
Wait, was it played or no?
Yeah, they took on f5 instead.
Ah, they took on f5.
I guess only after they're gonna go to g5.
Yeah, but then there will be some sacrifices, no? Like then my e5 will finally have some sense.
Not so
Will
sure.
make some sense.
I
No?
mean, the strong candidate moves, but I'm not so sure how you're gonna get to checkmate me. Now, I think they have to take with the G pawn. That's a fact.
Yeah, I agree. G-pawn. E-pawn has some idea to bring the rook on the e-file though. Like you have the file open, everything is closed there, and you can go rook e2, e6 though. If you go g5, rook e2, but no, you'll go rook e7. My queen is trapped. Okay, so we'll take with the g-pawn.
And then I'm guessing G5 is gonna be played. And then maybe they start preparing it with rook e1 and then e5. But I'm guessing, can I just play queen e5?
Yeah, that was my issue. That's why I was sacking the pawn earlier, you know?
Yeah, e takes a5 was played.
Oh, he did actually take like that, huh?
Yeah, I guess, okay, g5 now, rook e1, rook e7, rook e2, rook e3. Oh man, that rook on h6 is very unhappy.
Yeah, no, it's just trapped. I don't know what he is doing. Although, you know, black has to keep the rook and the king in g8, but basically black will be playing queen versus rook. And white has a queen in h6 that's restricted by that rook. So those pieces are equal, not in number right now, but it just with the properties that they do at the moment. The queen lost its value. White's queen lost its value being trapped there. Definitely some kind of misplay here by Andrew. Robert, let's go to board 4 because I think there's some interesting developments. And then I also want to go back to board 1 because somehow the a-pawn disappeared. It just went away. Someone took it off the board.
So this is board 4.
What's happening here? There seemed to be some kind of attack for black with those double pawns, you know? h4, but not much. Huh? Rook on second rank.
I don't mean to be annoying, but we have the same.
I know. No, you're not annoying at all. Okay, that's the last thing. That's the last thing that I would think about.
No, but definitely we've said it. Middle game, opposite color bishops. Whoever gets to attack first should have that initiative or that advantage or that edge. So yeah, now queen h2 of course is in the air. I'm guessing they're gonna take, and then we just gotta find a way to bring our pieces in. Yeah, they have to take. I just don't see anything else. They have no other. Or you take.
Yeah, queen h2, h1, g2. Everything is falling if you don't take. I don't see any defense, unfortunately. I mean, the rook is protected, but you just lose all the pawns. But
oh, and then queen e3 could be interesting.
Queen e3, and if you go to h1, king g7. Prophylaxis, because we haven't shown any prophylaxis so far, I think.
Yeah.
yet
Yeah,
try
now,
to mate. But you can go king f1, of
of
course.
course, yeah, but this is definitely a very nice idea.
Hmm.
If instead king f1, can I just play bishop d4?
Yeah, you have to sack the exchange.
Yeah. Well, let me just see.
You know, after king f1, we could do the same thing, king g7, rook h8, rook h1.
Okay, true. Creative.
It's a bit slower, but yeah, we've got the time.
Now, what are they going to do? Yeah, I think they have to take this. So you said board 1-2, right?
Yeah, board one. I mean, when we left off, we thought, okay, what? But black
Oh,
is on
that's
his
true. That's
way
true.
to.
This is the end game.
Yeah, this endgame with opposite color bishops, our favorite topic of the day, of the nationals so far. So what happened? Has White created some chances for himself? Is he gonna have some,
No, I think it's
you
just
know?
the pawns were black dropped the pawn on a4,
Yeah,
and
but you see, again, we're making this trade-offs, and
the wrong
it's the
pawns.
kind of this is the second theme, a second recurring theme, giving up a healthy pawn or in this case not healthy. Like black is capturing a healthy pawn, but giving up a pass pawn is not.
Yeah, yeah.
Couldn't you do something better there? Like,
Were we supposed to just play c2? No, what are we missing
did he
here?
miscalculate c2 rook c8? Is Is rook a2? No, rook a2 check. Oh my goodness, I'm almost blundering.
Oh, you mean that?
Poor guy
You mean
with
this?
blundering. Yeah, I almost blundered that. Like,
Now, what's the right call here?
so what did he miss?
Maybe rook b4. No, that makes. Well, rook b4 maybe. Nah. Oh yeah. No. What are we missing here? There's something strong that we're not seeing.
So after c2, what happens? Rook c8, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What about if we play this strange move, but bishop e5?
Yeah, I wanted to see if the bishop could help, but I guess they.
Maybe say this rook c8 is just
Yeah.
bothersome. Is there a difference between going rook takes e2 and bishop d4, or going bishop d4 here? Would that make a
But
difference?
I'm thinking e3, right?
No, I just take it. You can't.
Oh, that's true. Because I'm being pinned. Bishop d4 right away.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a difference here or not.
Okay, well, let's say I just do something like not down, but maybe.
Well, yeah, if you go to f1, c2, rook b1, of course you saw that. So if you go there, maybe I have the opportunity to go e5, e4. You think that could be an option for me?
Yeah.
Just to try to improve and take advantage of your bad replaced
Yeah,
king
it's
and then
like
take.
we're here saying, why didn't you do this? Why did you try? But it's not easy, especially.
No, but move orders are not easy, but let's try to understand now because I feel like that's the reason. But so what happens if now rook e2, what happened in the actual game? Rook e2, rook
Okay, wait.
c8 or
So
something?
rook e2, rook
What
a7.
rook a7. Okay, so king g8. So could black not play king f6? No, because of rook c7, right? Or
You mean right
yeah, rook
here?
c7.
King
Yeah, I
f6.
think this is the issue. That's why it's important to activate your bishop first because you want to play this move.
Yeah.
This is your king needs to go, stay close to that e6 pawn, which is weak, and support it until it gets to e4.
Unbelievable.
So like just small nuance there could actually make a huge difference for the result of this game and the standings in general, because the two players are on 4.5. And actually what happened on board two? The board two is still playing, but white is on his way to win. Where we should catch that game up because Arush is winning on board two, I believe. And if that is the case, then Arush will be
Yeah, this has happened. We had left it here. We're like,
leading,
you have
sole
to
leader.
take. Yeah. Maybe 5.
This
Just going
No
quickly
opposite
here.
color bishops.
Opposite colored knights, though.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Okay, maybe knight d4. I mean, f5 clearly they're gonna play f5, but then maybe g4, g5. Nope, they're looking for weaknesses to put pressure on. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. Oh, okay. I see. f5 just to transfer the rook over. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Give me that. Bring the other rook.
You gotta be careful for some rook f7 stuff at some point. Sacrifices.
Now skewer. Simplify. Yeah, and we keep going after the weak pawns. Nice.
Yeah, and not giving ours. Look at that. Trading the knights, taking the pawn in c4.
Yeah, this is just a lot, I think. Too many pawns. Too many pawns now.
No, this is gonna be a tough. But wasn't like Ming doing better earlier? Didn't he have a better position than Black have in this game?
Not necessarily. Like we were talking about this fancy. You see, when they took on b2, because they had knight
This was the one. No, this was the one where Black was kind of coming back with the queen b2, but I guess he misplayed it, allowing White to get so active and then just
it's not
grab
enough. Not enough.
the weaknesses. Yeah, the pawn is.
Very interesting. If they go into this king and pawn endgame, that's the end of it. But of course, no.
Yeah, that's a cute move there. Rook e6, grabbing another pawn, and now White has 3.
Yeah, it's just too many pawns, and this pawn is not gonna make it anywhere. It's just an isolated pawn.
Yeah, f6 is coming.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
That is tough.
All right, let me just see how this ends. We don't have many games left, right?
Oh no, we have quite a few actually.
Interesting.
There are quite a few games that are still playing. So okay, we can do like a quick recap from the beginning, like with those that are still being played. That way we can make sure we don't miss some. So we already saw board 1. There's a big chance that game will end in a draw here. White's definitely on his way to winning. Board 3 finished in a draw. Board 4 in the K-12 grade, 12th grade. Was that position that we said that Black had some chances to win. It looked like it was gonna be over soon, and I think it will be.
Absolutely.
Board 5, which is board 1 in K11, that game is still being played. I thought Evan was having some slight edge at some point, but the opening went kind of just okay. There's the pawn in g4 that we liked earlier, but I guess he wasn't really quite able to do much. And the current position they have is a rook endgame. Okay, sorry, I just got excited. It's a rook endgame, and then I saw 2 pawns. It's a double bishop pawn, c pawn, Philidor position. So the game will end in a draw. Because the pawn didn't actually.
Interesting how he went for that pawn now.
Wait, because the f pawn normally wins with no, g pawn, even g pawn, double g pawn wins. So f pawn.
I'm thinking, how bad is king
c
g2
pawn.
here?
The king and pawn is no, but what about rook takes b2?
I take on g3, and then I'm just trying to see if I can gain and pawn and the rook maybe. I don't know. I'm just thinking if that get my king involved, this could be a lot. And then rook to the 7th rank, maybe checkmate from the side. Now let me see how bad this is. King g2. Well, no, not that bad. And then they take on b2. I guess we take on g3. Yeah, and I'm going for it. Active king, active rook. This have to lead to something. I don't know. In the actual game, we have rook c4. Yeah, this pawn is not gonna go anywhere, not without the king to help out. Rook b4. Yeah, and the thing is, this is gonna be either Lucina or Philidor. If the king gets to help, then it's gonna be a Philidor, which is known to be a theoretical draw.
But they have to. Black has to be super careful because it's the same kind of pattern. You cannot let that pawn get on f6. You cannot do the defensive approach with putting the rook on the back rank. Then you will lose because this is a C
Mm-hmm,
pawn.
mm-hmm.
Even with B, if it was a B double pawn, is still winning for white. So you need to do the Philidor where you as soon as the pawn gets on 6th rank, you need to go on the back rank to give checks.
Correct.
Even if white will have the C5 square to hide behind, you need the rook to be behind to give checks.
Exactly.
You cannot allow both the king and the pawn to reach the 6th rank. And I'm sure Evan Park is going to be able to
Yeah,
to
this
save
should be a
that.
draw. Very well known. That's why we have to know at least the main or the basic rook endgames, the Lucina, the Philidor. Yeah. So that's board 5. Let me see what do we have for board 6. Is this game still going or?
Board 6 was a win. Was that win?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
you scrolled. You scrolled.
I'm getting.
Okay, perfect.
There we
All
go.
right, you're good. You're good. Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Board 7. Board 7, we got a knight endgame. Robert, you're gonna love that. And it's same color knights.
There we go. So yeah, this is definitely gonna be.
I had to get it back, at some point I had to get it back.
Hey, maybe this is a new thing. You never know. New pattern. All right, so
No, but that is something that I use when I teach. I ask especially new students if they ever ask themselves, did you think what's the difference between knights and bishops? Like why are they worth the same amount of points, 3 points, if the bishops can go to 18 squares if you put them 13 squares if you put them in the middle of the board, and 8 squares for a knight if you put a knight in the middle of the board. Did you ever ask yourself why they're still worth the same? And sometimes their coaches didn't explain that to them, and I feel very disappointed. I think that's one of the first things that you have to explain, because yeah, they have different properties, but instead the explanation that is being given to kids is that knights jump over pieces. And I disagree with that statement, although it's used when we comment on things. But knights don't jump over pieces. If it was some other game, when you jump over, you grab that piece. But in chess, you don't grab the piece, you jump over, and you don't need to jump over a piece to move your knight. So I don't like those explanations. I like to explain bishops control certain color squares. Knights can control both color squares when they switch around, and that is the reason why
absolutely.
they are worth the same amount of points.
Absolutely. Now this one,
They
I
only know
think
block positions or something.
exactly.
This is a draw, right?
Yeah, this is just they went from the knight endgame to king and pawn endgame, and since we have the rook's pawn, yeah. I mean, they have to be careful. Once they mistake and you're out, because this at the end of the day, this is the outside pass pawn, right? So when we take each other's pawn, the black king is close enough, but this being a rook's pawn, I think it should be a draw.
Yes,
Should
it's
be a
gonna
draw.
be this will be a draw. First board finished in a draw, and that's a huge. Oh, I think
that
Avi will
that was painful.
Avi will be very happy, but Gupta Arnav will not, because Gupta could have been the
Yeah, but that
the
happens.
winner of this. But now we only have one leader in the 12th grade, and that is Arush Vinud, who was on 4.5. He won his game, and he's the sole 4.5 player. I believe he might be playing Gupta or Avi. It depends how important colors are for these pairings, and I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Correct.
For the later round. So board 4 will be won by the black pieces. Board 5 was that rook endgame Philidor position, which I believe international master Eric Evan Park will know how to draw. We had this draw. And now let's go back to board 8. There was a request we had, remember, earlier to try to focus on that. Yeah. So let's see board 8. What else has happened? So we know that White had to give up an exchange a bit earlier.
Exactly.
But, he's hold on. He's put up a good fight. I mean,
yeah, it's just that the
yeah,
rook.
the engine says that he's winning, but it's not gonna be that easy. I mean, you can try to hold on here still. He has to be careful with the pawn pushes. You see, this is something.
Yeah,
I don't think the pawn push was. Oh, got into the king and pawn.
Very nice idea
Oh,
here. They just sack the rook because they know this is a one king and pawn endgame. And
yeah,
then
that bishop needed to be more active.
yeah, they basically white. I mean, of course, they're under a lot of time pressure, but they're putting the pawns, blocking basically the bishop. The bishop doesn't have a lot of scope. Maybe if your bishop could be in front of those pawns and unable to be kicked out. But yeah, active king is just the main thing. Active pieces, and then open to just transitioning into an easier endgame, such as the king and pawn endgame. And it comes in with opposition now. Give me
Indeed.
that.
And unfortunately for white,
Yeah, that's the end of it.
this is
That's the
a
end of it.
loss.
All right, so we have
Um,
Eric's.
Let's go to board 11, where we have Andrew
11.
Feng against Abiram.
Oh, this is the
Oh
one
no,
with the.
that's a game over. That's over. Gosh, why did I not put the results? This is the second time I'm taking you to a game that has a mate on the board, but
No,
the
no,
result
but
doesn't show up.
it's good that we came here anyways because we get to see how the game
Yeah,
finished.
But we get to show one more time why you have to be mindful about placing your pieces and restricting them
Absolutely,
here.
it's amazing how
White
this
is,
queen is there. Like
I know. And
yeah,
now you just want to get rid of the D pawn and sack your rook. But,
unbelievable.
it happened, but your king still has moves.
Yeah,
So,
no, that's it. That's it. That's it. Very, very nice. Oh yeah, that's a nice resource. Just sacrifice everything and then hope for the end game. I mean, for the stalemate, right? Yeah. Yep. That's it. That's the end of it. One more do we
nice
have?
win for black in that game. The
Absolutely.
next board is another opposite color bishop.
Oh, come on. Yeah,
Isaac Wang against Will Morehouse. Were these two players were on 100%, I think, right?
yeah, and this is definitely a draw. That nothing is gonna happen. So
So this was ninth grade first board, and two players 5 out of 5. And then what did Nikash do the next board? Nikash won his game.
yeah,
So he will be the only player very likely who will be on 6 out of 6. Wow, with his
very strong player.
very exciting game yesterday. And he has the chance to actually win the tournament on his own. I don't think he's ever done it. We'll see if he'll be able to put up with the pressure of winning the event
Okay,
on
this
his
one.
own.
What's going on with this one? We saw it already, but I don't see the.
Oh yeah, we saw this. This
Yeah.
was that game that you remember, yeah, one of the first games that finished. And Robert, I gotta say, oh, there's one more board, and that is board number 20. Which one is it? Wait,
23?
Was it 23?
I'm looking at 23 now,
Yeah.
and I mean, it seems like White got this, but anything could happen.
Yeah, Theodore Shin against Lev Shangin. Shangin,
Really,
Lev, I'm pretty sure I looked at his games in the past.
yeah, and we can see those very dangerous pawns for both sides. White has 2 pawns connected, passed. Same thing for black. But the white pawns are closer to promotion. It's funny because black is up a bishop, but it seems like the white pawns are just too powerful. Is rook e7? Whoop. You see how quickly that bar changes?
I do. What just happened?
Well, I don't know if what could they have played here. Rook e7 maybe. Well, check happened.
And suddenly his black is better? Oh, because he has an extra piece and those pawns are okay. That bar is kind of annoying, I think. Is this the current position?
Yeah, this is the current position. I guess we take and then rook e7 is in the air plus the pawn. Very exciting game.
Is he gonna try b2?
Well, b2, I think. Well, I don't know if queen d4, yeah. And then they
Queen
have to be.
f6, rook e7.
Yeah.
Ouch. Oh. Not happy. Not
It's
happy at
unbelievable.
all.
It's unbelievable. This crazy position on the time pressure. And this is number 23. This is K5. Last board of, or second board of K5.
Let me check. 23. I don't know why my command didn't work, but yeah, second board of K5.
Oh, draw? What?
What?
Well, I guess that's it.
Wait, why did they do it? Why did they accept the draw? Why would Theodore offer a draw? Do you think the result is wrong?
Well,
I'm just shocked. Like, what do you mean you take the pawn in B2 if Queen F6 is Rook E7? Rook E7. What was he worried about? King H6, King H6? Okay, King H. No, King G8.
King G8.
King G8.
I mean,
Mm,
can we just go Queen D5?
I mean, can't they just take your queen? I mean, how? Do you have a mate or something? I
Queen
don't
D5.
see
No,
it.
I mean they
Check, King
promote
G2. King G2.
Bishop E4.
I I can go.
I mean, you could even sack and then Queen F3. Yeah, but
I can also go king.
definitely, I don't think this is just a draw. Maybe it's a mistake.
I don't know if there's anyone who knows the result in this game. Please let us know. That's suspicious. But I'm sure.
I mean, it could end up in a draw. Anything is possible, but not like this. Not in this position.
Yeah, maybe they were analyzing after and then they didn't.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. All right. So this game, this is number.
So what was our game of the day, Robert? It looks like everything is over. Which
Draw.
game are we
Do we remember?
picking?
Yeah, that was the one with Rook B7. What was that? Number 4? No.
Yeah, that one was it number 6?
Let me see.
No, it was not number 6.
No.
It's like white had 1, right? So
Yeah, white won with a very nice attack on. Let me see. It was not you.
was it the no?
It ended
Was
up.
it? I think it was the Eric. Was it the?
Oh, I
Eric
think it was the
games?
Eric's. Yeah.
The Eric's.
Yeah, this was the one. This was the one.
This was the one. Are we going for this game as the game of?
Yeah, I think this is a very good candidate, especially like after so much pressure, Rook got to B7, and that was the end of it. Actually, it was way earlier when the Rook first got to the 7th.
Yeah,
point.
so let's go from the beginning and just kind of do a recap for it.
So basically, we started with a Caro-Kann, D5, advanced variation. We keep seeing this line very popular, definitely. And then C5 right away. And in this line, they captured on C5, pawn to E6, opening up the bishop, pretty straightforward. Queen to G4. We see this a lot in French defense positions where the bishop leaves, so we hit G7 and then King F8. Everyone happy so far. Pressure on F2, if I remember correctly, Queen G3 was played. Now, I wonder if Queen B6 is the way to go. I know you had mentioned, we had talked about this, but what's a more accurate move here? Maybe Knight C6?
Maybe knight H6 to try to get the knight to F5 and then go H5 or
And
maybe H5.
We don't care about this, right?
Or that's why I said after, as soon as I realized, I was like, maybe H5 first and then knight H6.
Okay, and then Knight H6.
Yeah.
That seems to work. Knight C6 seems very natural as well. In the
Yeah,
game,
sorry, maybe you could also try to hold on to the knight in B8 because you still have some opportunities to play B6, bishop A6, and
Okay,
you know, in
good
the
point.
French pawn structure, the bishop could be traded, and you know, this was an important game, by the way, for everyone who's watching. This was an important game in the 10th grade championship because both players were on 5 out of 5, and you know, a win was important for them to secure in a way or just kind of maintain the lead. Okay.
Absolutely. Well, in this game, Queen B6 regardless was played, hitting F2, Queen G3 defending it, and then it's all about quick development. The knight would love to land on A4 to get rid of that bishop. Black said nope, and we continue to develop. Castle, Rook B1, and we're preparing B4, which happened. Then instead of taking like we expected it, we were talking Rook takes or pawn takes, White decided to go Knight to E2. Very fancy move. You're pinned. then give me the pawn, queen c7. And from this moment on, it's pretty clear that white wants to focus on the king side to get to the king. So the knight came to e2, then to the king side, and after knight c6, bishop to e3. We talked about this, but we repeat it. If black accepts that exchange, then white gets to open the rook. So definitely they said no. Instead, pawn to d4. We go back to safety. And
Yeah,
rook to
black
a3.
tried to find some ways to get some activity for their pieces because their king was in the center. They didn't have much space, and they're just saying, okay, let me try to kind of, push that pawn forward, get the d5 square for the knight, and maybe
Correct.
somehow I'll be able to regroup, get my king, go by foot to h7, get the rook into the game. But unfortunately for them, it was
No,
still a long way to go.
it's just tough. And you're right. They need to at least distract these pieces. Like, hey, let's create something in the center or the queen side. But yeah, it was not easy. So 95. This was I think the biggest mistake, because even though they got the pawn on e5, they allowed the rook to go to b7. And once the rook got there, that was the end of it.
Yeah, this is something that Robert and I talked about a lot, and we're going to re-emphasize on it now. The idea is basically that what black did, he was trying to take that central pawn and thinking that it's more powerful or more important than the pawn in b7. But it was not about the pawns in this case. You know how they say it's not about you, it's about me or something. Here it's about the rook's activity. White gets the rook activity on the 7th rank. And that is going to help with the coordination with the other pieces, the knight and the queen that are already there, the other rook that can come on the e file, which now is semi-opened, and the two bishops play the role in the future attack in the position. And black didn't really get the chance to walk with their king to safety.
Absolutely.
They had to stay in the center, and from here on, let's see the game, Robert, how white was able to simply convert their advantage, queen h7.
And then every opportunity, like after pawn e5, they found a new way to incorporate more attackers. And
exactly. Pressure every single move.
Yeah.
Black had to give up the exchange in order to try to avoid losing the e-pawn.
And then a beautiful theme here. We see how the rook is being attacked, and white said, I'm not going to move the rook. I'm going to pin your bishop. So that was nice. But then a few moves later, we trade. White is happy because they're ahead in material. But then we see now how the same pattern. They're attacking a rook, and instead of moving that rook, they say, nope, I'm going to pin that bishop because e7 would be falling. And that's how they got into this position where black simply resigned. So very clean, very nice game attack that converted into material advantage, and then an easy endgame to convert.
Yes, definitely a very nice game by Eric Zhao, and he's in the lead after this win with 6 out of 6.
Exactly.
And yeah, guys, we certainly hope you enjoyed our commentary for this round, and the next round will start at 2 p.m. Eastern time. The next and final round, which is going to be very important because it's going to decide the winners in every single section. So this is K-12 grades championships that are taking place in National Harbor, Maryland. Robert and I had, a great time going through these games, and we certainly hope that you will be joining us, right, Robert, at 2 p.m.
The final round. Very excited to see what happens, and so join us.
Yeah, the players will probably be very, very tired there, but
yes.
or maybe not. Some of the younger ones, maybe they're probably having their lunch now.
Everyone is tired.
Everybody's tired. Well, it's been a long weekend, and now you got to put in more effort because it's the final game, and it's your chance to try your best to finish on a positive note. We know some players might not be able to do that, but like I said in the first stream, these are the kind of tournaments where you're building up your mentality to understand on how you can deal with wins, but also with losses, and just take the best of it.
Absolutely.
Robert and I will sign out for now to try to get some lunch ourselves, and we'll be back around 2 p.m. Eastern with commentary for the final round. So be sure to follow US Chess if you haven't done so yet, both here and social media accounts, so that you stay notified when we go live. And bring in your games. Let us know where you're watching from, and let's have
Absolutely.
some fun playing chess.
Absolutely.